Maris, quite contrarious. Let's see how your charity shop shenanigans went down. As you remember from the last time, they did a charity shop, and some people in the charity shop were eggy, and some people weren't. And there was like one of them wanted to be the boss, and she put in a new boss, and she got a lady boss, didn't she, at the end? And then the charity shop was doing much better with the new lady boss, and all the ladies that worked there had to get told, didn't they? And then that's what happened. So this is where we're at. They'll probably tell us all that now again now.
I made my name turning department store Harvey Nichols into a fashion powerhouse.
Did you? Fashion powerhouse. Polystyrene head there, look.
Now I'm turning my attention to a retailer that I think has...
because that's the charity shop. I thought that doesn't look like the that doesn't look like the window of Harvey Nichols with a polystyrene head. It's not.
Untapped potential. Charity shops. We're in them with...
Oh no, that's the posh one. That is the posh one. In the middle of posh London with its charity shop posh. White hat on a polystyrene head. So the polystyrene head is in the posh shop. But they've also gone for the old bit of glass. They're not doing it right either. Like, surely Mary would critique this window. That's as shit as the window they had in their... They're doing the Heart Foundation one, Mary is. That's as bad as the window they've got. Where's your mannequin with the cool fashion? No one wants to buy an old glass vase like that. Unless it's Edwardian, and it doesn't look Edwardian. It might be. You know, it might be looking at the little... It might be a little bit of antique glass. But really, a little bit of cut crystal like that. Not that interesting to people these days. The white hat like Boy George might wear, okay. But polystyrene head, white hat, bit of glass. It's not good enough.
Of the worst financial crisis and environmental crisis in living memory.
Okay, this is a little bit, you know, this is during Credit Crunch or whatever back in the day, but like...
The blonde one, the dark one,
big ups,
and the butch one.
Sturt.
I don't remember the names.
There's your Prime subscriber. Big ups, thank you. This was filmed during the financial crisis, but the joke I'm going to make is funny. Look, it's good. It make you feel better. That this was made during the financial crisis, but we've never recovered from the financial crisis, so everything's still applicable now.
People who want bargains.
In the credit crunch, we gave all of the money to the banks. Do you remember? In the credit crunch, it was really important to give all of the money to the banks. People were losing their houses, defaulting on their mortgages. I remember that was one of the things that contributed to me deciding to close my business in the town centre as well, paying all that rent and doing all that work and noticing the slowdown on the high street and all those things. Get out before, you know, the going sinks you, eh? Like, get out before you earn any money or take out any weird loans or anything, yeah? Make sure you've all got, like, you know, I thought it was better to sell all the things I had and put a pile of money together than to end up, like, you know, stretching my resources thinner and thinner during a credit crunch. And I was happy to get out while the going was not quite bad. But well, not happy, you know, I had to just accept what was going on in the world. But I could have grinded my way through it, could have done, but made a choice. The point is, though, right, we gave all that money to the banks, didn't we? Loads of money to the banks. It's really important to give the money to the banks. And then, like, so that happened. And when things are tough and we got energy crisis, it's really important that the energy companies get all their monies, isn't it? Like, we're not suggesting to, like, sort that out and reduce. It's almost like the big companies and all the big banks and all that, they get all their monies when times are tough, isn't it? It's weird, that. And we have to go to the charity shop and buy fucking crystal glass out the tip.
Still want to be a bit greener.
I don't know who's buying this during a credit crunch. Who's buying that during a credit crunch? No one's got space and time in their house for whatever the fuck that is for £1.
Charity shops have an opportunity, but not as they stand.
But she's right. They've got an opportunity. People are looking for a bargain. Credit crunch. Get on your charity shops.
Today. I've been handed...
Plus, I like going in the charity shop and talking to the lady behind the counter, chit-chatting and browsing and trying to find something interesting. You know, I like that.
A failing charity shop and 5 months to turn it round.
I like spending like £2.50. I suppose it's a bit more expensive these days, isn't it? But I like spending like £2.50 or £5 on like a t-shirt/jacket combo, and like not you know, I could go in there with a tenner and walk out with some interesting items of clothing, wear them a bit, and then not worry. It's almost like fast fashion, but much more responsible, isn't it? Like, wear it a bit and not worry about it so much about like having to spend like £80 on a thing, and do I like it, and it's quite a lot of money. Like, you know, I could even give it back to the charity shop and say, you sell that again if you want. Like, it's cool.
I'm starting to lose the will. I've been trying to solve the biggest problem, hideous donations.
Fabulous Topshop jacket.
I convinced my charity to invest £15,000
did?
in their shop.
I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, you just recently could have watched the other 2 episodes, so I don't know, you don't need the recap, but I have left it 9 days before the last upload, so
Doesn't
maybe
this
2 weeks before the last Mary Queen of Shops. I'm bad for this.
look great? But my staff are rebelling against change.
She didn't like it, did she?
The regular volunteers has handed in a notice.
Because of what you're doing and spending the money.
Now I'm on the final leg. I've got to convert the nation's fashion lovers to shop charity.
Now, the final thing is she's transformed the charity shops. Like, she has sort of transformed the charity shop. It's had an improvement. It's not as... Listen, it could have gone better, but she's done her work on the charity shop. Now what she's got to do is convince people in public to go in it.
Do you mind if we styled you?
Yeah, I'm so down with that. What's really put your hand?
Was that someone famous?
And with a month to go, my bosses have set me a tough challenge
We would be looking at £2,000 a week.
to double the profits.
Double the profits, absolutely. That's what she promised them when she asked them for that money to renovate the shop.
It's a tough challenge.
But what's good about it in terms of filmmaking is it provides that bit of jeopardy. This is my challenge. Got to achieve the challenge. It's a water challenge. Maris.
My shop has been open for 4 days, and it's a world away from the
It
nightmare
does look a lot better now.
I walked into 4 months.
Ladies swear, look. Ladies swear. Hang on, I've got a button for that. I'm having a really good time. I just looked at my buttons and went to press the button and realised that, you know, again, like, just, you've got to reflect on how fortunate you are a lot of the time, haven't you? I've got this button machine in front of me and it confuses me a bit because the button's in here, look. It's not in the Alan section, is it? What section is it in? Sounds, new sounds. What was I looking for? I've got a button for this ladies. It was something to do with ladies.
Now hold on, Lorraine.
Hang on, not that one.
Lekker and fearless, we came to take rest.
Follow ladies. I want ladies. Super ladies.
Nurture set.
Ladies swear.
Ago.
Now the shop's beautiful.
This is the new boss ladies as well. She's come in and they all thought this other fella that worked at the charity shop, he started to get a bit big for his boots though, didn't he? He didn't quite pull his role. They thought he was going to be doing it and he didn't take it serious enough, so she drafted in this ladies with the haircut.
You feel proud to work here. It's not like a grotty old charity shop. It looks like some kind of West End shop.
It's early days
But in the back it's still a mess.
for my new manager, Joe, but I'm hoping to prove to the charity bosses that employing
Although they built this to improve the back and the stock system, they built basically just like a shelf, like a container shelving unit, and that change transformed it.
a shop manager is worth every penny.
They've still got bags and bags of shit everywhere. She's not happy about it.
And so far, Joe's
Throwing them around.
keeping up my good work.
Scary. This is just yuck.
Salad tongs.
I'm not even bothering.
I love it. She's so ruthless. She's so ruthless.
Scary. This is just...
Like, she's a bit of a mean girls herself here, isn't she? You know, this is just so yuck. I'm not even going to bother selling it or even opening it. I don't know what idiot bought this in the first place, but sending it on to me as if I'm going to sell it. I mean, you wore it. I'll throw it away. Is that what you want from me? I'm your bin. Like, she just don't even give a shit.
yuck, 'cause I'm not even...
Yuck, I'm not even going to investigate it. I'm not going to unfold it and look at it and check the badge. Like, she should have at least looked in the collar to see it wasn't some sort of designer. It's going straight in the bin. Before, all the ladies that work there, they would sort all the stuff and they'd be like, oh, this, all that. And like, the only things that would go in the bin is stuff that's like got a rat in the pocket or someone had vomited in the bag. Like, there was no low for them. They would even open up those things and sort through them, to be honest, like with tongs. Now the system is, if it's not nice and I can't immediately see it's nice, and I know what nice things are because I wear nice things, yeah, because I've got an interest in fashion, if I immediately see it's just trash, it's going straight in the bin. We haven't got time for it. Like, much better system, I think, but a bit sad in some ways too.
Bothering.
And that goes to the rag trade, that does. You know what that does? They sell it by the weight in rag.
I actually hate that.
I actually hate that, yeah. And I tell you what, okay, like, these things get donated to charity shops, and I think it's a generational thing, isn't it? You know, those might have been more popular in the past, they're not so popular now. If it's mass produced, if it's not some proper antique, if it's not Edwardian glass, what the fuck? What's the point? What are you doing with a million salad bowls all like that everyone's nan had, but now like they ended up in the charity shops? It does seem to be useless, but the old ladies again before, they would say every bit of bric-a-brac knick-knack, that's what they want on the shelves because they like buying it for 50p. Like, I don't know, like I've never bought stuff like that myself, but I do go through that. It's interesting, you've all seen that bric-a-brac and you've all passed by it looking for a bargain, looking for something that might have some value or be some antique or something, and you've all discounted that. So what are we doing with it? Yeah. It does seem a shame that something could be a physical item that's been produced and then it just goes to waste. It just goes to landfill. But welcome to our world. That's everything you see and consume. That's all of your DVDs. That's every single plate and cup you've ever bought. That's every item of clothing. That's everything we ever do. Like, it's all churned out in a factory and it ends up in landfill, isn't it? That's why people like the old antiques in a way, is because shouts out to Eddie, the old vinyls and stuff, is because they feel like there's something more to them. There's something like, you know, tangible, historical, worth keeping.
AD.
Big ups, Admit Audacity. Big ups, the 4-month sub. But really, like, we just sort of have to accept it. If we're going to throw away every can of Coke and every bottle of, like, you know, Robinson squash, and every VHS recorder and every television, and, you know, like, if we're going to throw it all out, unless you've got, like, unless you're planning to live 200 years, like, you know, show off your antique collection of things you bought today, it is all just junk. Okay, I should have saved my Game Boy. Do you know what I mean? I could have got 250 quid for it. It is all just junk. Everything we do is just junk. The real thing that we do in our lives is we touch people, we create memories, and, like, you know, pass on our feelings, thoughts. Maybe we leave a bit of something behind in the way of, like, media. I say media, like, you know, art, media. There's not so much stuff you can leave behind, is there, that lasts, but those sort of things, memories. And then on top of that, like, maybe our DNA, and, like, that's us as animals. Like, that's why I think veganism is so important, because we're like the animals so much. It's just we're a bit smarter, aren't we? We're not that smart, are we? With our bowls full of, like, our shops full of shit. We're not that smart, but we all do the same stuff as animals, basically. And, you know, welcome to the big cosmic wheel. It's the circle of life. It's a wheel of fortune. I don't want that bowl. It's going in the bin.
But there's dissent in the
But her
ranks.
face when she's doing it, I don't know about this. Like,
I actually hate that.
Like that, the face of condescension and the sort of, this is shit, right? All those ladies have just spent the last 40 years working in the shop, buying and selling shit. Yeah? Accepting gratefully bags full of shit. So it's condescension to their way of life that they're having to change. So you've got to be careful about that. And what they tend to do is try and, like, say, oh, well, yeah, I could see. And sadly, it's going to have to go in the bin. But, you know, make nicer, more positive noises about the whole general concept. But she's very brutal, isn't she? She's just like, fuck this. I hate it. What did someone even buy it for in the first place? What's wrong with them? Is there something wrong with you? Take this, but, like, you've handed this to me in the shop as if I'm going to sell it on. Take this bowl, take it back, go down the river, get a big thing of river water, drink it, because that's all you're good for, drinking river water, you stupid piece of shit. I hope someone pushes you in. Get this bowl out of my shop. Like, what's that about? Calm down.
It's disgusting,
But there's dissent in the ranks. Some of the volunteers are still not happy with my changes.
I know, it's just the whole attitude, the whole thing. It's not the same as it was.
It's not the same as it was, no. Do you know what? I'm looking at these ladies and I'm thinking this, and I can't believe I'm going to say it, because they're nice ladies, but, like, these are the two that run the bric-a-brac for the kids, and they refuse to change. They just want shelf space for shit, like, and it's not, kids don't want to play with, like, an infinite supply of old soft toys. Like, but they're into that, yeah. But it makes me think she's revised the shop, she's renovated the shop, she's renovated, like, she's paid for an employee to be the manager to, you know, make it run properly. They're reliant on volunteer support, aren't they? And people who can volunteer are people who have got time on their hands and a bit of money in their pocket, because you need to be able to spend some time. I mean, I'm not saying that. I volunteered for stuff when I had no money. Like, when I was between jobs, I did volunteering, because if I'm useless, then I might as well sit at home, yeah. But I'm not useless, so I'll volunteer. So I'm saying that and I'm wrong, but, like, not just the money in the pocket bit, but you know what I mean? Like, time on their hands, pensioners, more time on their hands, the pension's sorted, so they're not coming in here to earn a crust, like, they're volunteers, but maybe that aspect of the staffing of it is still, like, one hangover from the old shop that is, and it's the human element, isn't it? It's so interesting.
Not overly comfortable with it.
They've just got to get with it. That's all it is, isn't it? They've just got to get with the new shop. Either enjoy it and work there, or fuck off to another shop that's a junk shop, because, like, this is a junk shop in the back room, and they're not having it in the front room anymore.
Oh.
A little bit haphazard.
Yeah, don't know whether we're coming or going, really.
Don't know if we're coming or going. She's got the Mary haircut though.
really.
Well, this one now is not a charity shop.
Brenda's the worst of them. She hates it. She fucking hates it. 5 years of service. She wants to burn the new place down.
In my opinion. It doesn't look like a charity shop.
It doesn't look like what you're used to seeing a charity shop being. But that was a failing business, so it can't exist anymore. So welcome to the world. Like, it's a real shame that she can't, like, enjoy the change, but, like, she can't. So there you go. But she does also look like she wears all the clothes that come in.
It looks more like a glorified indoor market.
With just over a month to go before I hand back the keys, I'm a long way off my target of £2,000 a
Mary's
week.
got the chains on. I wonder if these are Mason's chains. I see the popular people on the telly, and when you become a big politician, you get the Mason's chains. I wonder if that's what it is. There was a fashion for these sort of oversized and out of shape gold chains. There was a particular designer who was doing them a few years ago, and it's a bit ostentatious during the credit crunch, isn't it?
If I want my sales
Symbol of strength, though, in a way, but it makes you feel like you're being chained. Is it Masons?
to soar, I have to entice a new wave of
I'm
customers
only joking about the Masons.
through the door. Morning, ladies.
This is another issue. You've done the shop out nice, but the shoppers, I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know if it is an issue. No, I was going to say the shoppers are the same old ladies that used to work there, yeah? So maybe your market is those old ladies and you should be pandering to them and not the modern consumer. But the modern consumer will never come in if you don't pander to the modern consumer, so I get it. But this lady's got a really nice green coat on. So maybe old ladies don't have to dress like, you know, strange old ladies like we're used to seeing in the 1960s. Our nans used to dress like, or whatever. Like, there's a hairdressing fashion thing that goes on. Like, it used to be blue rinses and wet sets. That used to be everywhere. My nan's hairdresser, this is my first experience of hairdressing. I ended up becoming a hairdresser. But they had this brown window, right? Brown tinted window. And it was the waiting room in the first bit, and there was a bit of a wall, and then a reception, and then you go through into the actual salon area. So I'd been into the waiting room a couple of times. I'd seen through the window, the grey window, like, because we go to pick up Nan after she'd had her hair done. I'd seen, this is when I was a kid, I'd seen through the tinted window, but I'd not been in the shop, like, you know, in the hairdressing area as such when I was first seeing it. And the smell of the place, like perm lotion. It was perm lotion. And when I very first got to put my head around that, you know, wall and see what Nan was, because she was still having her hair done once we got there early or whatever, like, she was under this thing with the hood dryer. They had a row of them, and they're all, you know, like a full row of people all sat under these hood dryers. And I thought it was like some alien environment. I was like, what's going on in here? Like, all tech and stuff. And they got the hood dryers on, and it stank of perm lotion. And that was the hairdressers. Like, that changed. Everyone wanted to Vidal Sassoon it up. Vidal Sassoon changed it. He said, you don't have to set your hair anymore. Wear it down. See where it falls. Chuff! How about that? That's a haircut. Falls with the line of your, compliments the face shape, structural, and people were like, fucking hey, Vidal Sassoon. I like what you're doing, son. Let's all do that. And so wash and wear hair became the norm. And Mary's haircut is a Vidal Sassoon haircut. And her style is the wet and set of Cheesy Weezy Raymond was the big guy at the time. So they're two different times in time. They're two different, what's the word? Social, like, you know, the way that this lady saw fashion, hair, style, glamour, beauty, you know, standards, they're all socially constructed. None of them exist. If you're in a tribe in Africa, you look stupid. You want a nose thing. What am I being racially stereotypical here? But, you know, you want a thing through your nose, or all of the metal around your neck to stretch your neck, you know, that sort of thing. That's a beauty standard there. It's not here, is it? If you do that here, people say, what's all that stuff around your neck? They're just created by society, and we changed them. So, or they changed. So Mary represents the modern beauty standard of today, or aspires to it, in a way that this lady aspires to something completely different. So there is that social difference, isn't there? And it's not to say that older ladies can't decide to just wash and wear their hair, or, you know, wear clothes like younger people, but they tend not to, because I think they think that they look like mutton dressed as lamb. And back when they were young, it would have been looked down onto, what's the word? Like, be so, like, there was a sort of difference between the female liberation of the 60s, where younger ladies grew up in a time where they didn't have to feel so buttoned up, wet set, you know, zipped up, big, like, and could be more relaxed. And the older generation would look at that and say, well, more relaxed, more let go, like looser, literally looser morals. Like, yeah, it's interesting. I need to carry on with the show, or we'll never get through it. But
nice and busy for a Monday.
Finger waves. That was one of the things that I fucking hated in hairdressing. Finger waves. I had to qualify it, you know, I had NVQ level 2, 3 and 4, so I don't know if you do a 2, do you? But I had 3 and 4, like, and salon manager as well. I did that as a course thing, part of it. So yeah, I had all those qualifications, and I had to learn to wet, set and perm as part of the qualifications. And in my career, I probably didn't do any, like, I probably did one, and when I got other people working in the salon, I passed it straight on to them. I just didn't touch it, like, didn't even offer it on my line of services. Like, there wasn't any point. I don't have a hood dryer in all this business. I'm not doing it. Like, I don't want it. Like, I'm doing this Mary Porter's hair. So yeah. Never did it again. Although when you find, the irony is that when you do the styling for photo shoots and stuff, all of a sudden all those skills come into it. And because that wasn't my game, I was into hair cutting and styling and colouring. I found that like, I didn't excel in updos and pinning and all that business either. So, like, again, I didn't want to touch it. Like,
And my final touch to breathe new life into the shop is giving it a name change. It's Goodbye Charity Shop, Hello Living and Giving. Taking a lot of money, Ivy.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's all part of an idea I've got to broaden our appeal by
right,
bringing...
she's got a problem there. Living and Giving Shop is a great idea. It's a nice little rebrand. It's a nice little slogan, but it's a charity shop. You're not going to change society's like branding of it with your slogan in one small shop. You might start a ripple, but I just can't see it changing in society's, like, everyone else in society is going to call it a charity shop and know it as a charity shop in their heart of hearts. So,
in some very unique stock. Oh, come on, they can't even follow me out the door.
where's my bottle? I'm going to fill my
Today
bottle.
I'm taking my volunteers out to target the local community.
Skip the Eurovision music.
Committed members of the team.
What do you mean?
Like, the Euro trash music's going to get us done because of copyright, but it doesn't really matter on Super Chuff for you, but you just,
No.
Clear all this up.
Clear what up?
All the toilet and everything else. Yeah.
She's happy.
Wait.
Members of the team. Thus, a quick head count reveals someone is missing.
Oh, someone's missing that's not coming with them. And who is it that's dragging their heels?
Of my most committed members of the team. But since the refit, I feel she's lost interest.
Brenda, you coming on the bus with me? What do you mean no?
Clear all this up.
Clear what up?
All the toilet and everything else. Yeah.
She's happy.
It's classic Brenda. I mean, the thing is, Brenda's done this all of her life, I would assume, which is to reject or, like, stand stubborn against things by finding something else that she has to really focus on and is really important all of a sudden. Like, there's always something that she can point at. So, that's part of her psyche and character, and Mary's had to deal with it quite a lot.
I need you on the bus.
Don't leave me, you've got enough.
Brenda, I need you on the bus. You've been part of my whole campaign.
No, I'm not coming. I'm going to do this.
But why? I can get someone else to do that.
I've started it now and I'm going to finish it.
No, but you've been part of my other stuff, and I need you.
I know, and I've done enough, I think.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm okay.
You lot, honestly. I adore Brenda because she's so good. But things have changed. It is scary for them, but the energy that I keep putting into the staff is just getting a bit tiring for me now. I've just got too big a job to do, and it's just, I've got to have the people that get it.
Think of your charity shop as a cooperative, this living shop.
So she's just not going to take her with her then. She just said, like, I've put my energy into you. If you're unwilling, and she did this in the other episode as well. She said there's a cut-off line. Like, I'm doing my bit. If you don't want to come with it, then there's a cut-off line. I'm not going to just, like, pander to you. Like, we'll just move on then. Like,
But people are coming in, selling, bringing in stuff they've made, bringing in their fashion, trading it. So it actually...
like Mary represents a very Thatcher style capitalism. Like, her attitude to it is very much conservative Thatcherite capitalism. So it's interesting to apply it to this sector. But, like, her attitude there to that lady is the same sort of attitude that I was critiquing about the disabled people, which is that if I can't, like her utility is the word. Like, in our system, you own the means of, or we don't. We do now these days a little bit more, but the people who are in charge own the means of production, and they exploit the labour force, the workforce. That's us, the normal people. We do our work, and then they pay us money, and we get money, obviously, but we give them utility, don't we? Like, we create stuff in their business, in the main, unless it's your business, you're doing it for yourself, but you create that utility, that value. And if I create £10 worth of utility or value for that business and they pay me £11, then they're down £1. So they're not going to do that. They're going to pay me £8 and they're going to take £2 utility profit or more if they can get away with it. And the worse we can treat the workers, the more we can get out the system, the better the system works for the people that own the means of production. So in that setup just then, the lady who was unwilling to go along with it and stuff, like, you put time and effort into her, but eventually you just have to tell her just to fuck off because she's not useful for your business. It's not a very humanitarian approach. Like, she's left adrift in society now. Like, other businesses, like, obviously she doesn't have to have a job. She's what's the word? She's just doing it for a social life, isn't she? But, like, you know, to help a charity for a social life, or whatever. But, like, the principle in general society is that people that don't fit in easily into the workforce, they're then cast aside and abandoned because we haven't got time to fix your problems and your psychological or whatever. Just fuck off. Yeah, we want a compliant workforce, and I'm not singing the praises of that. I'm saying that's a negative. I'm saying I like her attitude. I've run a business, so I've had to do the same thing. I've had to say, look, we've had several different disagreements today about whether the fucking clock's right on the wall or it's the right brush for sweeping. Everything I say, you contradict me with. I don't want that in my business. It's time to let you go. You know, and I've had to do that a few times. Fortunately, I didn't have to worry about industrial tribunal stuff because people were renting chairs, and, you know, it was a bit more of a loose, I don't want to say, the first 3 months before you actually have the job and you're on a probationary period, not probation, but probationary period sort of thing. So I was able to say to people, this isn't working, just leave. But, like, if it's not working, you just tell them to leave, don't you? Because you're running a business, and the most important thing is the business runs well. But those personal problems they have that causes them to not be working, like, she's not there as her psychologist, so she can just tell her to leave and just fuck off. But like I say, it's an example of our society where that lady is then set adrift. So I'm admiring it in Mary as a business operations manager, but I'm not admiring it in a humanitarian perspective. But our society currently is set up for consumer capitalists, heavy conservative, right-wing, abandon Brexit, set our own rules, ruin the workforce, no human rights sort of setup. So she fits it very well.
Becomes like a community-based cooperative. Now, nobody else has done this before, and ours is going to be the very first one. Right, we need to start our campaigns. Obama's got nothing on us when it comes to campaigns, baby. And give these out, guys. These are your charity shop needs you.
I do, after watching this as well, because we're only 5 minutes in and I keep pausing it, so I really have to let it run after this. I keep saying it. But after watching this as well, the first one and the second one, I do realise all of a sudden that there's, like, we're going into an industry here, and all of these people would probably kill to have an hour with Mary one-on-one, advice, mentoring in their career, and she's just spent like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month longer with this damn charity shop and all these old ladies, and all of that advice and learning and, you know, all the wealth of information, the resource that Mary is, she's devoted to them and their little charity shop, and Brenda's being a little bit unwilling to even listen to her, which is, do you know what I mean? Like, these people would kill to be in Brenda's position and get to go and stand next to Wendy all day and listen to, sorry, I keep calling her Wendy, Mary, and learn things off her, I would assume, people in the fashion industry.
And deep in the suburbs of Orpington, I've discovered a place which is exactly what our shop needs. A hotbed of artistic talent and potential recruits for our shop. Ravensbourne College is where great British designers like Bruce Oldfield and Stella McCartney started their careers.
Ooh, Stella McCartney.
Stop me.
I mean, she was always going to be a success, though, wasn't she? Because she was Paul McCartney's daughter. But, like, I know, her clothes are nice. Her clothes are nice. Don't start me on Stella McCartney.
King and creating.
I want these students and their designs in my shop, and to entice them in,
I don't know anything about Stella McCartney.
I'm offering them something no charity shop has offered before. A share of the profits.
Okay, good afternoon. I am working with Save the Children. Most people
Oh, I thought it was Heart Foundation. Save the Children. Right.
who sell in charity shops are people who have some time to give. And generally, it's the people you see here. And I need some younger models, because you know what happens when you get younger models as well? Younger people come in and shop.
So she's addressing the staffing issue. You work in fashion. You're in college doing fashion. Get in a shop. Work experience. I've got a shop. I'm not going to pay you. You get it. Work experience. Get in the shop. If I was this, I'd be thinking, fuck off. Am I working in the shop for nothing? I've got to pay for all my university and all this nonsense. It's expensive. I ain't got time to work in the shop for nothing. When I was at uni, I had to work in a restaurant and other things, like, you know, other little. I did an agency thing where they sent you at, like, you know, you don't know where you're going to work, but you just turn up and then you get on a bus and you end up at a factory for the week, or you end up at a. I did the rugby games behind the bar, pulling pints at a rugby game for a little bit as well, like, you know, random jobs, bar jobs and stuff like that. But you need to work, don't you? So like, they're gonna have to, on top of that, I suppose they might be at posh university in London, they might all be Stella McCartney's, they might not have part-time jobs. You don't know. But like, you know, they'll need money, won't they? So a job like that is difficult to lay on the students. On the other side of it, if I was making clothes part-time, you know, trying to get something going, it might be nice to just be able to put them on the shelf in the charity shop and just see if people buy them. You know, experiment with it. You don't get the money out of it, but you get to, like, there's a whole shop there and you're in charge of stocking it. So you'd be like, here's an option. And all the stuff they throw away that they don't want, all that rag bag, I'd be like, well, I'm making clothes all day and I need material. So there's a huge resource there as well. Like, maybe there'd be a lot of positives that you could sell it to them.
So what I'm doing today
She
is
thinks,
I want
fuck it, bollocks.
to sign any of you up who might be making some brilliant fashion samples.
There's a lot of ladies there, aren't there, and the one man. That was what it was like when I was at hairdressing college. There were pros and cons to that, mainly cons. Mainly cons.
So what I'm...
There was a joke on, they don't watch the football. They don't watch Soccer AM. And on Soccer AM, there was a joke. Every time they interview someone, they said to a lady, they had these pretty ladies on Soccer AM. Every time they interview them, they say, have you got a boyfriend? Tim Lovejoy would say, and the lady would say, yeah. And he'd say, it'll never last. Like, it was a little joke. It's a little throwaway comment. It'll never last. Like, a little joke. And once one of the girls said something about their boyfriend, and I went, it'll never last. And I was making a throwaway joke about something she'd said about her boyfriend. Nothing. It was a minor. That went on for like 2 weeks of everywhere. Scott said she would. You know, like, oh, for fuck's sake! I bought her some Haribo to say sorry. They're like, you bought her sweets. I was like, fucking hell! I just can't be dealing with you. Just can't be dealing with you. There's something wrong with you. Like, I suppose they were younger girls, and like, you know, it's just how it works, isn't it? But I was there to get my qualification, and like, in and out. On the couple of days a week that I was in there, I wasn't there to make friends with everyone. I didn't care. But like, one tiny throwaway comment turned into like a fucking week of drama.
doing today is I want to sign any of you up.
Look at his glasses. So he's in the class with the, there's another one there as well. He's a bit of a looker as well, isn't he? So you get in the class for the fashion, and it's all the ladies. I should have noted that. I could have been a designer.
Who might be making some brilliant fashion samples. I'm giving you a free shop to sell your product. Take a stand. You can call your department whatever you want. You can pretend it's Harvey Nicks.
She's smart.
And sell.
She's so smart. Now they're in. Like, she's like, oh, competition to sell my products in the shop. Hello.
All your designs. You can
but do you get the money?
take half of the profits.
You can take half the monies. This is a really good idea. I don't know if she's costed it out properly. Half the monies is quite a lot to be giving for shop space. You know, usually the shop would give a smaller... Actually, what would they get? Like, the shop buys in product and they sell it. And they get... How much of a cut do the shop get? They probably get a smaller cut, don't they? Usually it's probably your supplier gets a bigger cut. So actually they're giving their supplier a 50-50. Usually the supplier would probably get a bigger cut.
And save the children. Take the rest. One of you, what do you make? What do you design?
And how are you going to, at the end of this, listen, how are you at the end of this going to take a check off Save the Children? Now, this is what I don't understand about the woman who works there as a manager. I understand it, it's her job and all that. But at the end of it, you have to take your check off a charity. And like the temptation there to just say, sorry, just have the money back. I can't take from the charity. It just feels wrong. Like, the temptation to do that would be incredible. But I understand there are some people that literally work for charities. So, of course, you need your money too. It needs to run. But for these chuffers, like, I don't know, if it was me, as I was part of my journey as a student designer, unless I really needed that money, that would be a little bonus, and I'd just say, have it back. Couldn't
Bags
do it.
and clothing. So
We used to
I
do
know-
hair for the. We used to do the fashion shows for the hospice. You know, we used to go and take my little ragtag bunch of hairdressers from my salon. We used to go and just do the events for the hospice. Like, there's no way we'd ask them to pay us money.
bring my stuff in, and you promote it, and you'll promote it. Joe is the manager, so Joe is going to get your names after this, along with my team. Joyce, yeah? Right.
And she don't care.
We're going to sign you up. Joycey, you're going to get them to sign up. Lila, these
Joycey
women
hates
have
them.
given years to this, and I need some young blood. We need you. Living need you.
It's a song, I'm going to skip it.
Enthusiastic about rounding up the young men in the group.
Would you be able
Whoa.
to stay for a little while down there with us? And so that would be nice. Would you like to sign that, please?
Yeah.
Shop, because they haven't seen it. They don't know what it's like, you see.
I think some point.
Oh, he likes them older, does he?
No comment.
Yeah. Think creatively. Come on, everything has a word.
I mean, if we were to like help volunteer, would we be helping sort through the bags and like choosing what absolutely? Because that'd be fun as well.
See, he likes to sort through the bags because that'd be fun. He's thinking, not only do I get to choose what goes on the shelf, I also get to have my first pick of what's not going on the shelf. And like bags and bags of old clothes for a clothing designer must, when you're in this college situation. Like I've got friends. I want to say, well, I wanted to say relatives, but I don't want people to be like trolling my relatives, do I? But I know I've got relatives who are clothing designers, and like they obviously don't want loads of bags of old clothes. They buy proper fabric and have things manufactured in like bigger places now. But dress designers and stuff like. But for a student, it's going to be an awesome resource, isn't it? This looks like
I
fun.
walked into that shop and saw that vibe going on. I want to shop there.
Is it?
Look at what one of them has designed. I love it. I think the eyes should be higher up, about here. But I like where the mouth is. What's that?
I'd like to know what that is
I'd like to know what that is.
intended to be, because I don't know anything about fashion.
Okay, it's
It's a fanny hole dress.
based on, it's like a face, like on above.
It does look like a face. I get it. Yeah, it's like a big balaclava for your fanny.
Yeah, well, that's what we can see, yeah.
It's your fanny hole at the front.
This is just like a first toile, so it's like in the development stages.
In the development stage. Got to move it around depending on where your fanny is.
the moment, so.
Big ups, new chatter, Nazio Magretti. Big ups. Hi, you, bro. Hi, bro. Big ups. Just jumped in at the right time here. I mean, I wouldn't... When you're talking to someone, you know how the temptation as a man is to... Well, you don't know, some of you, but apparently the temptation as a man is to look at everyone's boobies all the time. Always looking at the boobies, are you? Look at me eyes, staring at my eyes. Me as a man, I've like grown up with my mum and my sister. Like my parents divorced, so like my dad wasn't always like in the house, although he lived in the area and like we always saw him. But like it was very matriarchal, you know, like women are in charge, like big female energy, yeah. Like so, like as I grew up, I had a lot of respect for women. And I don't think I'd be staring at their boobs when they talk. It's not something that I feel like is natural to me. But with this, right, I couldn't help it. I'd be looking at your other face down there. I'd be looking at your face when we're talking. I couldn't help it. It draws attention to the fanny.
None the wiser now.
Anything in your cupboards as well, donate. Getting people to see their local charity shop.
Big ups, Tommy, and why is the shirts... These are it's hard to explain. These are designers. We've been watching Mary Queen of Shops. So these are designers and they're young people who design clothes. And Mary's working in a charity shop, transforming it. A bit like Kitchen Nightmares, but for a charity shop. So it's easy to understand, really. And she's enlisted these young designers to come and help transform the shop a bit. The shop's already getting quite transformed. And so that was an example of one of the things that young people are designing. And these young people, they're sex mad. They're just sex mad nutters.
It's a marketplace.
It's what TikTok's like. It's why we can't go on TikTok. It's just sex mad nutters that are young and pedos. There's no middle ground these days.
Where they can sell their wares will be just what charity retail needs to transform it from a place where old things go to die into a buzzing environment full of life where people want to go. And I've just got my first...
I mean, it's all right. When I was that age, I was sex mad too, but you calm down.
And these are some bags.
Like, you have a bit of it, and then you calm down.
Seat belts and...
Oh, they're fantastic. They're fantastic. Take them in.
Yeah.
Also, you know what you could do is you could take some stuff from the charity shop and recycle it.
Exactly. And that's what he's had his eye on it. He's already requested a job in the back room. That's exactly what he wants. And Mary suggested it to him. It's his fucking birthday. He's glad he wore the snazzy yellow glasses today and accessorised the yellow undershirt sleeve with the... Is he wearing a white vest on top? And I'm not a man for a waistcoat. I think waistcoat, apart from my friend John, who did the ASMR road trip thing, who looked quite snazzy in a waistcoat, in general, I think waistcoat equals wanker. I'm not one for a waistcoat. Certainly not a very tight, buttoned up one like this. But he's gone for the tweedy waistcoat. And has he been... I've only ever worn something around my neck like that indoors once when this German girl, gave me all these love bites. Like, it's really... She gave me all these... She had a little bit of a moustache. I was all right with that. Okay, listen, I was 16. It didn't matter. She was a couple of years older than me. A little bit of a moustache is fine. I was still winning. But the love bites, I wasn't... The love bites. So I had to wear a neckerchief, and then we all played volleyball, and all my friends from the sports, it was a fencing trip, they all said, why are you wearing a neckerchief indoors playing volleyball? And then they got it off me and held me down and got it off me, and then they saw that I had all the love bites, and then I got the piss ripped out of me, and I deserved it. And that's what happens when you've got loads of friends who are boys and you wear a neckerchief into a volleyball match, and you obviously got all love bites all up your neck from the German girl that slept in your room last night.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, wouldn't it? I
Perfect.
can't wait to get these lively designers into my shop.
This is a competition shop, Scope. They're not the shop we're doing.
I started my charity.
Mind, they're a competition shop, although, shouts out Mind. Big shouts out Mind. If you've ever got mental health issues and you go mind.org, it's really, really a great resource.
Crusade, I've been battling with one of the sector's biggest problems, the falling quality of donations.
Look at that. Let's get into the shop and buy a puppet that looks like a Scary's clown and a Scorpions record.
Staggeringly,
I've always needed another China dog to go with my collection of pottery dogs that I keep by the fireplace.
less than a quarter of the items.
They're all right. They're mass produced though. They're not donated like, what it is you've got all this shit in your charity shop and you're stocking items that are made in China or some shit, that you could get off eBay or, Amazon. That's like a piece of item you might get off the market. So it's a product. So it's all right, depending on price, like little jewelry stand.
Items donated to charity shops are good enough to put out on the shop floor.
I mean, as a student, I'd have bought that maybe. I don't need that many bowls. But I might have picked up a few bowls and cups from there as a student. If I was doing interior design for... there's a lady in our town that does interior design for bars and stuff, and like she'll transform a bar and then sell it on, and give it all like vintage chic or whatever style, different styles. You might pick up a load of job lot like that for that, maybe. I don't know. I just don't see much use for them though otherwise. Like, people don't tend to want them these days. That's why they're in charity shops, and new plates and cups are quite readily available, mass produced in loads of places, and people tend to go for that. But as a student, I might have bought them. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe shelf spaces. I need to stop evaluating everything because we're 10 minutes into an hour-long thing, and we're never going to get anything else done tonight. Otherwise, I'm going to be on this all night.
It's a charity shop, whether it's a market, whether it's...
You give me 1 minute of content, I'll give you 1 hour of conversation.
a supermarket, it's about the product, number one. Okay? All the other bits, great. They make shopping pleasurable.
Your mum's got a Chinese willow pattern for day-to-day use. Yeah, that's the blue one, is it? It is willow pattern, isn't it? I was thinking that, but I didn't say it in case I was wrong. It reminded me of it, willow pattern. I got a couple of plates, like on the random, like I said, when I was a student. I just bought a couple of little bits and pieces. They became my plates and cups that I own, and they're just random little ones. But I kind of like the idea of having like random little plates and cups like that as a collection. But in the main, in a house, like we don't do that. We'd like most people, we just have loads of white plates that are all the same. Like most people do, don't they?
And currently, the charity shop's additional.
She's brought in other people. Oh yeah, because she did this conference thing in the last episode, and then she met all these people from the other charity shops, and like it's good to have their voices in the show. But so they're not just competition; they're helping each other, really, aren't they? So Chris seems to have her head screwed on from mine. She seems like a good character.
Avenues of getting donated stock, so we've got to do something new.
Good afternoon, ladies. Today I'm launching a new campaign and my hopefully winning slogan. D-Day, Donate, Don't Dump Day.
That's rubbish. Does anyone know D-Day, Donate, Dump Day? Does anyone remember that slogan? No, because it didn't catch on. It's rubbish. D-Day, don't Dump Day. I can't even say it. D-Day, don't donate, D-Day, don't. You try and say it. You try and say it. D-Day, don't donate, don't dump day. It's stupid. It's not going to work.
I want to be a regular date in the calendar.
There is no such thing as a regular day in the calendar called D-Day, don't donate, don't dump day.
Okay? In the calendar of businesses. It's an idea that worked a treat for my shop when we went to British Gas and asked the employees to bring in 1 or 2 items they no longer wore. Now I want these ladies to do the same.
Look how snazzy Mary looks, though.
I want you to think about is being proactive sales teams who are going out and saying, we need this from you. We need this from you.
Sales teams, resource teams, really, aren't they? They're not sales. They're in acquisitions. They're buyers. What you're essentially doing is bringing the concept of buyers from your actual Harvey Nick style shops, because that's what you don't have in charity shops, is it? You rely on, you don't have suppliers and buyers, and therefore taste and like this month we're going to be doing this range of clothes and anything like that. You don't have buyers and suppliers, so you just have like whatever we get we have to sort through. So what she's suggesting is we're going to try and create a system of buyers where we go out and source the things we want. Interesting.
We need this from you.
I do this automatically with my friends.
Yes, with your friends.
I do this automatically with my friends.
And my darling, I bet your friends are gorgeous. But I'm talking speaking to 250 people at a time. Okay?
Okay.
She told her.
Okay, let's get going.
I love it. Sometimes I wonder, because I had to run a business in a female-dominated workplace. Like, you know, hairdressing was like, you know, more ladies than men. But I wonder if it would have come across better me saying things if I had been a lady, because they seem to like, if I'd have done that to anyone in my situation, yes, love, but I'm thinking of talking to 250 people, not just your friends. Like, then that would have got me in so much trouble. Everyone would have hated me. It would have been a nightmare disaster. So I tended not to do things like that, although sometimes I had to put my foot down. But like, yeah, I'm surprised with Mary's attitude, the way they all just take it so well. But you're on telly, Mary's having a laugh. I don't know.
I'm gonna like get your boobs.
I mean, Mary's snazzy. She's the best one, so you're going to listen to what she says, aren't you? But maybe that woman didn't like that.
One then, Chris. Okay.
Donate, don't dump.
D-Day is vital. They need to spread that word, and they need to spread it with passion.
To get the ball rolling, I'm giving the ladies some eye-catching promotional material, a list of facts, and a
It's not that eye-catching, is it?
few tips on how to present.
It's a really cheap, shoddy T-shirt that you've had printed up. I thought you were Mary Queen of Charity. I thought you were all into the fashion.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
And I'm
don't put that
setting
on
each
over
of them
your, like, she's got her hair all coiffed, and don't put that T-shirt on.
Up with a company
What's
to
this?
present
Look,
to.
it's not even. It doesn't even fit her.
Oh, no, no.
Don't look. Her hair has been done. She's got it in a massive updo. It's took her ages. All pins and stuff. Hairspray. The minute you squash that over it, like, don't do it to her.
Unless you're listen, step off.
She's got it over the hair. It's all about the hair look. Told you.
But before I drop them in at the deep end, a practice pitch with some of my own staff. Some of my team. Right, I'm going to start.
These are Mary's actual staff. Like, he's laughing because he has to work with her all the time. He knows what it's like. Like, he's laughing.
With Chris, Caroline, and Hester, who will introduce themselves. So you come round the front.
Hello, I'm Hester from Mind Charity Shop in West Wickham, and I'm here this morning with Chris and Caroline. Each of you.
I assume that. Oh, wait, are these the new young people? The new young staff, are they? Or are these? I thought she meant my actual staff from my Harvey Nicks world, but she might not mean that.
Has a spectacular item of clothing in your wardrobe that you have not actually worn. We know this because statistically 86% of women have something in their wardrobe that they've never worn.
Statistically, 86% of women, I'm sorry I keep stopping it, have something in their wardrobe they've never worn. I've got something in my wardrobe I've never worn. I've got a couple of items. Usually it's shoes. I buy them, I try them on, I think they're nice, and I can wear them once, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I've got a few like wintry clothes that are like, you know, like the skiing trousers or whatever. Like, but mainly I wear my clothes, on a sort of rotating cycle.
You mentioned 86%, and suddenly you became powerful.
Yeah, I don't know why they said dump flying, Freddie. It does encourage the shit donations, doesn't it? I thought that was something they didn't want.
This is really where you leave absolutely in their heads that they're going to go home.
No, because who is going to go and throw away like a £60 jacket or like a, we all throw away stuff when it's ruined and when it's out and, got rips in it or torn and like that's done now. You've got a hole in your shoe, that one's got to go. But generally we don't tend to think, we tend to hold on to our clothes a bit, don't we? And like maybe these days it's different. I don't know. You've got Vinted and eBay and stuff. Maybe I'm an ignorant to ladies' fashion a bit more. But I'm thinking that generally, it's quite normal to sort of wear your clothes until they're rubbish and then you throw them away, I suppose. So maybe they do dump a lot of clothes that could go to charity shops. I just don't know.
And go through their cupboard. Take it away. The hospice. Next up, it's Inga and Trish from the North London Hospice.
Please come and help us. This is a really good cause.
Would we give to these two? Finally, Bev and Shruti from Bun.
I do wonder myself, like, would we give to them? Like, they're well-meaning ladies and all that, but they seem to be reasonably well off. And, like, it is an interesting aspect that you're looking at a shop now that is staffed by people who are reasonably well off themselves. It looks like quite a posh upmarket shop these days that she's done the renovation. Like, is there an element of your feeling of guilt, like donation to charity? Like, if they seem like they're doing really well, do you think, well, I don't need to give you my nice jacket. You've got loads of good stuff. Like, you're probably making quite good money in there. Like, I wonder if it, like, that aspect affects it, and like the fact that it looked a bit shabbier before made people more likely to be generous. But obviously it wasn't, because they weren't getting loads of cool designer stuff, were they? They were getting loads of shit. But
it helped over 100,000 children.
D-Day's clever again for putting in the old and mature staff, so it's old ladies would recognise D-Day. Maybe that's a bad thing though. She's trying to vamp it up, isn't she? So interesting.
Okay, here. I can't do it.
Can't you?
No.
Big up BCTV.
I'm so nervous.
Oh, come on.
Had one of those weeks. I've been looking into that infected blood stuff. I've been like, that's right on my radar now. I'm probably not going to talk about it extensively here now because we're doing this, but it's in the news, isn't it? And like, it's right on my radar now. It's a big subject. Shouts out.
Let's do it together. Come on, let's do it.
You're gorgeous. Come on. Presenting
I got the right person there, didn't I? Talking to the right person about that.
The crowd is never easy, but I believe the genuine passion these women have
Because we have different names on these different channels, but I think I know what
touch people.
If you could donate even one item per month, one item, everybody could donate one item, that would be fantastic. And you could do it on a regular basis. So our motto is, don't delay, donate today.
Yeah!
Right, you've got a motto, a different motto to her one, so it's different. They fucking love her.
How fabulous was she when she talked about her charity?
I think it's a good idea, and I think it will work if you work hard enough at it. Then I think it will work. But it was never.
This is the most important thing to me about...
It's got dark. It's dark now. They've been there for ages doing that.
The future of really good charity retailing. If we don't get out there...
Like, this is very much set up so they can get something filmed for the show as well, the way they're all sat, the way they stand and do a little thing. I think they were thinking they were going to get more out of it for the show, but Mary presents well and talks well, but the others didn't talk as well, so they haven't got as many shots out of it. So instead we've just got like this section where we saw them really quickly.
Into the heart of society and say, give me better donations. People aren't going to come to us and buy.
I get it, Mary.
So think about that, guys. Go out there and just give that passion and energy that you all have. Just go out there and don't worry, those people will deliver.
Right, Mary.
Okay? Well done. Thank you so much. I'm not expecting them to be, professional presenters, but I want them to feel that real, God, I believe in this. And if they believe in it, they'll get the message across. And that actually is the most important thing that came out of today. They believe in it.
Mary, I know that she's a leader, yeah, but she reminds me of a politician sometimes as well. And I think she'd be very good in politics. I just don't know if I agree with her personal politics. I don't know what her personal politics is, but because her situation in the business world and the way she applies what I would say is very sort of Keynesian market, Thatcher style, like a lot of marketing. Like there's a lot of what I would say is free market, laissez-faire economics about her approach. So I'd worry about that a little bit. And it's really interesting to see that approach to charity shops, though. So
Back in Orpington, it's been a week since
yeah,
Joe
it is,
took
yeah,
over
VCTV, videographer with different opinions.
the shop
Check out the channel on YouTube.
manager.
We had bric-a-brac for there, didn't we?
Yeah, but I don't want to spread it all out. It was just crazy the way you were doing it. You can't spread little bits out.
But
She's telling them again. And that bloke was nearly the boss. He applied for the position of boss and she got the job. And she's in there telling him, no, fuck you. You're spreading it out again. I don't want to see it spreading. Get in there. Right, the only thing I want to see spreading in this room is margarine. And I don't want to see any sandwiches in here, so there should be no spreading whatsoever. No one's legs are getting spreaded. No one's sandwiches are getting spreaded. The only thing that's spreading is your arse on that chair. No one's getting spreaded. Get the spreading gun. It's a spread-free zone. We're banning coaxing. Coaxing's been banned, and now we're banning spreading as well. You're spreading your mess out. I don't want you spreading your mess out. Get it in your fucking head. Oh, the fun's gone out of this charity shop. Now we've got a proper boss. Can't even spread. Got to wait for my lunch break to go outside and spread out the back.
Volunteers on side. It seems some of them have a problem with authority.
We've always just sort of just done as we thought was right. Now we have to make sure that we're doing what
Yes, that's the system. That's the difference in the business now. Yes. Before you just did whatever the fuck you thought was right and it was basically a sinking ship. Now you've got to do what you're told. Yes. Welcome to working in a fucking shop.
necessary or what suits.
They smell. Spreading has been banned.
The manageress, you know.
Check my butter decotta motto. What?
My new ideas are taking
I can't believe it's not decluttered.
their toll. The volunteers
The charity shop needs you. Very clever, Marys. Very clever. Very clever. I think we've all done a poster like that before. Very clever, though. Yeah.
are against the changes,
You are Lord Kitchener.
and this time they mean it.
And this is a war.
Oh, these are the cards for the people that have actually left.
Oh, my God. Not only do they leave, but they write a sort of passive-aggressive bitterness card as well when they go.
So we've lost
I bet those cards got handed in as like donations as well.
probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the moment.
It's all right though, isn't
And
it?
it seems that
Like
the
with
exodus
change, comes change. So this is fine. Like if you want new people coming in and there's old people going out, that's just what happens. Like
isn't over yet.
Yes, just come to say goodbye.
Very sorry to see you go, Maria.
Thank you. It's
Very sorry to see you go.
They just don't know what's going to happen. They're frightened of change. They think there's all these new people going to come in and they...
it's not just that. You have acted like a bit of a fucking one on the camera, I've seen. So I don't know what you're doing behind the scenes, but you have like the sneering condescension to some of the items that they themselves would have probably bought from the charity shop was a little bit harsh, but there you go.
This anymore, I think. So I'm trying to reassure them, no, you've been here longer, you'll be on the till, you'll be showing the others what to do. But it's just going to be hard, I think.
I'd hope that a day-to-day shop
Every time we see her, she seems to be lifting bags on her own, and it seems like they all abandon her to do the hard work on her own, because fuck you, if you're going to tell us what to do, you can do it yourself. But it might be because on camera she wants to be seen to be leading from the front as well.
would help focus the
It
volunteers.
might be because she actually does lead from the front.
I need this to work, so I just hope Joe can remain resilient.
Well, she's been paid, so she's got more resilience than the others. They can come and go as they please. Some of them just walked out when they just got fed up of it. She's been paid. It's her job, so she is going to be more resilient. Like, when you've been paid, you have to turn up even if you don't like it. Those ladies could say, well, I just don't feel like it now, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Fuck you and your shop. No long-term commitment to the benefit of the business entire and the charity. It's just, I'm not enjoying it anymore, so fuck you and your shop.
Which is just what I need, my army of volunteers.
But that's independent. That's the thing. That's what I say about laissez-faire economics. Margaret Thatcher said there's no such thing as society, meaning that you're just individuals doing what you want. And the wider society issues, like the things we talk about, 60% of people think this and whatever, Margaret Thatcher would contradict that and say, well, put those 60% of people all together on a train platform and they'll just push in front of each other to get on the train. They all just want what they want. It just happens to coincide and form these statistics, but they're not thinking about each other too much. So it's the same example there with that woman who left the shop. It's like, she's not there for the greater good, is she? Because the greater good is we transform it in this way, but because it doesn't fall into line with what she wants to do in the day, she's off. Right? So maybe they weren't that lovely after all to be giving up their time for charity. Maybe they just had a social club.
Today. It's phase 1 of D-Day, and the volunteers are going face-to-face with the workers at 3 of the biggest
Because you've got to say, I
companies
mean, I love the ladies that are going with it and going with that, yeah, the change and trying to make the shop better. But the ones that are dragging their heels and stuff, aren't they in some way harming the charity because of their own perception of what they would like to do in a day and what they would like to do in their shop? But they don't own a shop, so they need to go and fucking buy a shop. You can't scupper the charity because what you want to do in your shop is that. Like, the charity's got their own like goals and aims, and you can't scupper it by turning it into your own little coffee morning, can you? Like, that ruined the shop. The shop was going to die.
country.
The shop is for the charity, so you're not doing the best for the charity. So whatever the charity wants, whatever its aims are, you should align with or not be there. Like,
Bev and Shruti from Barnardo's are heading out to drinks company Britvic. Chris, Hester and Caroline from Mind will be facing the internet crowd at Google.
What's another, I keep pausing it, but you know, another really interesting aspect is if you turn it from Barnardo's into my business, then you come with some weight and gravity, because I really respect what Barnardo's does. And most of those charities would come with that same, you know, like, when I was operating as a business, I had to create my own reputation and gravity, didn't I? But like, as a representative of a charity shop, you can easily just like walk through the door of lots of places because you're representing a good quality charity. Can we have some of your time? Most businesses would say, yeah, okay, you want to come in for half an hour and talk to us about your charity shop thing that you're doing? I suppose we could fit that in. Like, Mind, yeah, big reputable business, like, you know, not business, sorry, charity, you know, these people have got that brand behind them that really helps.
And Trish and Inga from the North London Hospice at publishing company EMAP.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Bev, whose nerves got to her in the practice pitch at my office, is now about to face an audience of over 100.
It said her nerves got to her in the practice pitch. We didn't see her nerves get to her. We saw them all clapping her, and they left that in the cut. They obviously edited it out because that practice pitch section was a bit dry. And as I said, I think it was set up to create television and it didn't really work, so they just cut it out. But apparently her nerves got the better of her. That's why they all gave her the big clap.
Nervous. Really nervous. Shruti's more nervous than me.
I'm very nervous.
I know what it's like to be nervous, I get it, but you're going into a room full of just people that work in an office, so I don't know what you're nervous about. I don't know what there is to be. I don't understand the concept of the nerves there. I know people do get nervous about public speaking. Obviously I don't, so I'm lucky in that. I should try and empathise, but I can't understand the... like, you've been in a room with people on the way there, you've been in a room with people earlier, you're in a room with people all the time. They're not... It's like if I went in a room with like the top legal minds in our country and had to give a speech on law, I'd feel really nervous because they all know much better than me. Or like if I had to do a performance of my guitar songs on stage, like I'm not very good at it and I'd like stress and struggle. Like talking, saying stuff that you've got written on a piece of paper that you've already talked about before, can't be that hard, can it?
To be honest, but
some people do.
I'll try my best to see.
We've all got different strengths and we've all got different things that we find, you know, insecurities, I guess.
I think everything will be fine, but never know, when you see that much people, you just get more and more nervous.
These companies are all major corporations with lots of charities vying for their help. If my girls are going to get great donations in 1 week from now, then they must make a lasting impression.
My office is just round the corner from here. It's quite the kind of fashion land area, so I've just turned up to have a look at Trish and Inga to see how they're getting on.
Fashion land area. We're in the posh part of London. I love it. I'm never really going to... Like, you never know. You never know. But I'm never really going to live that life. And not really would I want to. Like, I never really got an attraction to London. I've been there a few times. My dad definitely took me to show me a bit of the world when I was young, you know, to give me opportunities and allow me to form my ideas about what I wanted to do in life. And I never really felt like I wanted to, you know, be in that mix. But it's something like a bit like Absolutely Fabulous, isn't it? It's a bit like watching that show. Like it feels a bit like that, the posh London type set office thing. Like, look at how she's dressed. Like, the other ladies were wearing those T-shirts they gave them, those shabby T-shirts. These two have said, absolutely fuck that. I ain't wearing your shabby T-shirt. I bet the clothes they've got on between them are worth more than everything in the charity shop put together. I bet that's some snazzy La Croix sweetie. La Croix sweetie. Sweetie La Croix sweetie. And you don't think this is just some random shabby headscarf, do you? Like, I bet that's made out of like cashmere chiffon or something, like something nice.
I feel nervous for them. I feel like a mother sending her kids off to school on the first day.
Can you hear me?
No, put it on. Not in my ear. That one.
shout. Testing, testing, can you hear me?
They took a megaphone into an office.
Pound of pork sausages. Oh, sorry, I've got the wrong piece of paper. Right.
She's good, isn't she? I like her. Wait. We'll do these two. I don't care if I'm pausing it now. First of all, don't you have a conference room in the office? Yes. Has it got a microphone and a little podium and a set? Yes. Is that for the tellies? Yes. Does anyone want to hear it? No. This one, I love her. I've worked for ladies like this. Like, these are people that I like. She's got her head screwed on about it. She knows what's going on. She's not going to take a load of shit. She also, I think in the mental health services sector, you have to have really compassionate people. I know that you do. But they also, like, I don't know what the word is, like, you know, have to be down to earth and real as well. And I love this little joke she does at the start. I'm going to steal that one day.
Pound of pork sausages. Oh, sorry, I've got the wrong piece of paper. Right. Right, I'm Chris. I'm manager of the Mind Shop in West Wickham.
While Chris warms up the crowd a few miles away, Bev and Shruti have overcome their nerves and they're telling their workers exactly the sort of things they don't want.
Right, I'll tell you some of the things that we've had in the past. People's false teeth. People's ashes. Babies' dirty nappies.
False teeth, ashes and babies' dirty nappies. You wouldn't think it, would you? Like, what's the point in donating them? They're just leaving it as a junk shop. Did she just put on the stripper music?
An 84-year-old Inga is about to prove there's nothing she won't do for charity.
No! The lady with the nice hair, please. Not this one. The other one. You take off your... Not this one. Alan likes the nice hair. It's like Home Alone. They're all getting into it. They're all egging her on. They're egging her on. He's got a cheeky smile. This one, he's got a cheeky smile. Oh, she's got the t-shirt on. Oh, so someone is wearing the t-shirt. Well, I tell you what, that did get the crowd going, and it did attract a lot of attention. And she is a bit of a good sport, isn't she? Whee! She threw that at someone. She was aiming for that lad. We all know who she was aiming for. She ain't got the power in her arms anymore, but we all know who she was aiming for.
No more. Are you sure?
No more. Imagine she did. Imagine she just went wild. Meow. Imagine she's been waiting for this opportunity all her life. The BBC get complaints on points of view.
Excited? No, keep coming up.
Now the ladies have the crowd's attention, it's time to really drive our message home.
What we need good quality donations.
I wonder as well, if you're ever watching this, you chuffer, and you go to charity shops or donate to them, I wonder whether this will change the way you do. Because it certainly makes me think a little bit more about the stuff that I tend to just say, if it's at the end of my life cycle with my clothes, you know, once every now and then we throw out a bit of stuff, don't we? We all do it, spring clean or whatever. And I tend to just say, yeah, I don't wear that anymore. Yeah, I don't wear that anymore. And it's just like the stuff I don't want is the charity shop basket. And like, it does go to the charity shop in the main. Like, there are things obviously that I throw away that, like, you know, scrap, like socks with holes in. I'm not giving them to the charity shop. It's just rubbish, isn't it? But like, in the main, it goes to the charity shop. But I wonder whether I look at it differently these days and start thinking, well, anything I've bought that I would wear, I would consider to be good enough to go to the charity shop, I think. So this is another problem with it, actually, isn't it? I've just realised. Like, most people buy clothes they actually think are good and would wear. So when they give them to the charity shop and that woman looked in the bag and said, this is rubbish, no one's ever going to wear this, someone did buy it and they did wear it. So they think it's good, so they give it to you. Like, maybe some people have just got bad taste.
So you can bring it here, we'll save your time, and it will help us as well. You can help over 1,000 children from one item, so think about it.
Oh, I hated that stuff as well, admit Audacity. Yeah, like upselling. We had, in the salons I worked in on the way up, you know, the posh salons I worked in. I worked at one that was hairdresser of the year and all that business, you know, and I got my training in a good place. But the negative was, half of my training was learning to sell shampoo. And like, while I was an apprentice and all that, like, I'd happily do what I'm told in the business. You know, mention the shampoo the way they wanted me to and all that. But when I was the boss and when it was my salon, I wasn't selling anyone any fucking shampoo and upselling. Like, I'd rather just have integrity. Yeah, I could get it for you from the hairdressing suppliers. Yeah, we have a range of shampoo. Yes. I'm not going to try and, you know, skank you and pretend it's special and you have to get this and that. And like, I'm not going to upsell to you. And I'm not going to put a big markup on it because I'm not here to sell products. I was there to cut hair and, you know, generate business that way. So I was stupid because the businesses that do better in hairdressing do upsell. You know, you're a high street retailer, the end. But I wouldn't do it. I just couldn't stand it.
Together, we can help those people. So don't forget, don't delay, donate today. Thank you.
Well done, girls. Pitch is over.
We're going to be here on Tuesday next week in the afternoon to collect all your goodies. Yes? Yes. Donate, don't dump. Turn around. D-Day, come on. D-Day.
I really hope that their messages hit home. They gave it their all today, and if that doesn't work, I don't know.
Oh, and it's good. You've got that captive audience. If you set a day that you're going to return to collect, maybe they will bring in items. In terms of repeatability, I mean, it's a bit of a thing for the telly, isn't it? Are you going to be doing that week in, week out at different businesses? Potentially. And then you're going to have a team that's your marketing team that goes out to different businesses week in, week out. And on top of that, you're going to have a collections team. So it adds extra workload to your business. And you'd have to see the results. You'd have to end up statistically analysing, we did this day, we got this number of items, this percentage of them were good items. You know, you'd have to work out whether it was actually working. But in principle, it seems okay.
What will?
These chuffers have all got deck chairs in their office. They've got one of those offices like Google with all deck chairs and bean bags.
What I love, though, is they've done it their way, you know? They have done it totally their way. I mean, how could you not love Ingvar stripping off?
How do you strip so well?
I don't strip well.
You did strip well.
Well, thank you very
You
much.
stripped very well. You nearly took the last garment off, which worried me.
But I wanted to show my bra. It's a nice bra.
In a week's time, my girls will be back in the hope that they've convinced these young, fashionable workers to clear out their closets.
They really brought out what D-Day is all about, and I think right now is kind of an interesting time to bring this, especially with the economy going on.
I think it's a really good initiative, really inspiring. A lot of people are starting to sell things on eBay, a lot of people aren't donating stuff.
Listen, I used to have a client base in my hairdressing salon as well of like nice ladies from a nice town, and they've got money to spend and time to spend it and stuff, some of them. They also work, some of them, like, you know, everything from publishers to the theatre or like, I don't know, like cleaners or anything, like loads of different job styles and people. Range of people from society would come into my salon, which would mean I've got, you know, normal people like me, but also people that are doing quite well as well, like, you know, whether they be working or married or whatever, like all sorts of different people come into my salon, and I'd see all sorts of different ways of life, and it is fun to, you know, for some people to be like, you know, have you seen my new Le Croix jacket or whatever? You know, it's quite interesting and fun. I like fashion in general. Personally, I don't think it's my ethics to spend that much money on items of clothing in terms of priorities, but I do understand fashion and I do kind of enjoy it in a way as well, yeah.
A whole huge percentage of people's wardrobes that are just sat there gathering dust.
Who'd have thought that Inga and Trish from North London Hospice once a month will be coming down to a big business like EMAP and getting their goods? It gives them a proactive way of running their business as opposed to a reactive. We're just going to sit here and we're going to see who gives us stuff, and we're lucky if someone dumps something. No more.
True. No, he's good.
When I took over my charity shop, I set out to prove that it could be a successful retailer, as long as it was run like one. But 2 weeks into the job, and Jo is struggling to keep on top of the volunteers, and whenever her back is turned, some of the pensioners are still putting out tat.
No. No way. Could you imagine running the shop and being the manager and telling them explicitly not to do this, and then coming to work and seeing this? I'd take it and I would smash it. Like, obviously on my own before all the staff get in. Like, I'd be so incensed. I'd be like, why are they still doing this? Like, I'm not going to do it in front of them. Like, they'd all get scared and eggy. Like, but like, oh, it'd infuriate me. Seeing those like little chuffing hedgehogs pop up. No, I wouldn't be that cross, but you know what I mean. Like,
And that's just not going to make us the money we need.
the hippo, 50p.
I found that they'd put so many things on the rail that were so bad, Mary.
I know.
Really horrible stuff. It's just really frustrating, really, and I'm just doing the job, which...
I mean, there is an issue with the clothing, though, is the taste. You know, how do you know that they're not just trying to do their best and they just got terrible taste? Like, that's subjective, but like the little fucking hedgehog and the hippo.
They're doing, I'm doing it again.
So basically, what's happening is, when you're not in there, they're just putting out the old crap.
So it's like sabotage, and it's taking them back a step, so they just need to get rid of those people because they're not actually benefiting the business, they're making it worse.
It's hard. It's like they're saying, oh, well, when you're gone, that we're put
I wonder that about the car boot CCTV, because we did a few when I was younger, and mainly it was so my mum could sell all our old toys, but we didn't bring a lot of stuff home. Like, I wasn't there at the time as well. I was like moving on to university and stuff, but like we haven't been big sellers, but I visited a few and bought stuff. And I look at people's tables and I think you're taking a lot of that crap home. I'm telling you, like, you know, people with boxes of vinyl and stuff, and like I'm looking through it and maybe buying one record, and I'm thinking today you're going to sell like 2 records, and you've got boxes and boxes of them to show. Like, so how much petrol money are you spending ferrying these boxes of records to and from the car boot? Because like they're extra weight in you. I used to work things like that out when I was a kid. I used to think like that as well. Like, you know, like all these baskets and baskets of goods are just going to go back in your car boot at the end, aren't they?
Things back out, you know.
Yes, but you can, if you're in there
Chuck
full time,
out your
you can
chintz was IKEA, wasn't it? Yeah, chuck out your chintz.
manage that. You can say, no, do this, do that. They're
Basically telling you, now is the time to renovate your fucking furniture. Buy our goods, create demand. There's no real need to buy our furniture, but, you know, you've already got furniture. Just throw it away now.
they're self-managing themselves on what they like doing.
Yeah.
Every time with this charity shop, you make one big leap and you think, hey, we're getting a step ahead. And then there's always a problem. After nearly 5...
I've got a good mind for business. I've always been around business because my dad ran his own roofing company and, like, you know, made all his own decisions. And I think I've got a good mind for it. I did an economics degree I did economics and sociology and studies in social psychology. I didn't finish the degree. I didn't get the degree, but I studied it. I've got that interest, but when it came to it, when I was running the business, I couldn't do the exploitation of the consumer. Like, I couldn't turn it into reality. And it's the same with my advice to other streams and thumbnails and all sorts. Like, I can give great advice, I can talk a good game, but walking the walk, I'm not so sure I want to do that walk. So, you know, I like doing things my way a little bit. I'm a bit like those ladies in the shop, you know, I just feel happier in my own comfortable way of doing things. So I'd rather do that and just feel comfortable in my ethics and feelings. And economics and all that, ultimately it relies on consumer behaviour and buying and selling and, like, you know, making a profit off people and exploitation, doesn't it? Like the whole system does. So I feel less comfortable with that. What we do here, like when we talk about monetization on streams, which we don't a lot, do we? Like, I never mention it. Like, I don't ask you for tips or anything, but we detract people who do. And so as detractors, like, we've had conversations, me and Steve in the background, about I tell him he should monetize his channel, and there's like, I did the ASMR channel, never monetized it. Hundreds of thousands of views, never monetized it. You know, videos on there with 500,000 views, never monetized it. So I've been there and I know, like, you know, my choices. I know that I have monetization on, but, like, there's an ethical, like, space between having it set on and exploiting people and grifting, isn't there? And we call it grifting online, whereas if you're running a shop, it's business. It's not grifting, it's business. And all the advertising that goes on, which is a lot of bullshit to psychologically manipulate you to do things that you don't really need to or shouldn't have to or don't want to do, all grifting really, but we call it business and marketing. And people who get degrees in marketing and work in marketing all their life, that's their ethical choice, and I fucking hate that. I've got some friends who are, like, you know, in that world a little bit, and I just think, fuck man, I couldn't do that myself. Like, it's not my ethics at all. Although I could probably turn my mind to it and make a good advert. You know, I understand the mechanisms, but I don't want to do it to people. Do you know what I mean? Like,
5 months of our hard work. I can't let my volunteers lose sight of the end goal. Who's on this morning? Is it your shift?
I can absolutely attest to this as well, like I said, because my business was all about, like, you can, you know, my price guides and all that, you can tell my style of business wasn't that sort of upsell you shampoo sort of hairdressers, you know?
Not really, no.
Who put that tie on that
It's
shirt?
like the human aspect more.
No, pass on that one.
I can't go on. Let's get rid of that off there. There are things that are really fabulous little discoveries in here. So I want to go over to this wall and you go, oh, wow. And it might be a lovely book, it might be a case of, it ain't that. We need to hit our £2,000 target. And to do this, the team have to change their ways of a lifetime and start answering to their new...
$2.99 Casio keyboard. Not keyboard, sorry, calculator. Like, people still use calculators, I get it, but you've got a phone now with a calculator on it, so why are they even bothering to put it on the shelf?
Boss.
I think because they're just so set in their ways and they think what they've done's right and they just want to carry on working in the way they worked. But it's just not going to work that way
But that's
anymore.
selfish. That's not actually them working for...
Big ups, Linda. Used to employ 110 people, and it was hard work, really not hard now you're retired. Big ups, yeah. I did evade some of the human management side of things by giving people the position on Rent-A-Chair. So I gave them a key, and they were basically their own boss, but within the structure of my business where I could provide them with hair colour and clients and things. So there was benefits to them, but benefits to me as well, because I didn't have to engage in like paying their sick pay or anything like that. You know, I could enable people to have their own, what would you call it? Their own freedom, responsibility, all of those things. Yeah.
Charity, as you manage this more and more the way you want, the people who won't support you, you've got to be tough on. You know, this is a business. This is a business. Yeah. You've just got to manage this like you would be managing a proper retail shop. Bad behaviour, sorry. You know, just because you're a volunteer and you're giving your time for nothing doesn't mean you can come in and behave bloody appallingly. So you've got to be strong and know that you have delivered a profitable business. I have called
really
everyone
easy for Mary to say it to her, but it's really hard for her to do it with the people. Like, that was another difficulty I had in disciplining people. Like, when things had to go wrong, like, they had to go wrong. Like, once I came into the salon and the two girls that I'd given the keys to and, you know, Rent-A-Chair opportunities to, they'd been in my colour cupboard, and I let them use the colour, they could pay me back, but they weren't gonna, they were colouring each other's hair. So no clients were being done, no clients could be done, because they were both engaged in spending my money colouring their own hair. So, like, they had to both leave. So, like, things like that. But, like, you know, I wouldn't want people bringing in fish and chips to the salon because it'd make the place stink. But, like, if every now and then someone brought in some food that made the place stink, I'm not going to say, right, you can't do that anymore, that's it. I'd talk to them gently and say, you know, overall, bit of a smelly salon today with the fish and chips, but your work's really good and all this and that. You know, I just sort of drop it into conversation a bit like that and hope they didn't do it again. But, like, I wouldn't try and, like, you know, forcibly lay the smack down. It's hard with people, you know.
Shop because I need to get them back on side. Okay. Now, I'm proud of this shop. I think it's amazing.
See, I love Mary for this. Again, she's just told the woman, you've got to do this with these women. You've got to lay your foot down with them and do a team talk. And now she's going to show her how it's done and do it. So I love that. She's not just going to drop her in it and say, right, you do the hard job. She's going to do it herself.
And I hope you are all proud of it and think it's amazing too. And actually, if anyone isn't proud of it, I don't care. Because we need to sell, make this successful, not because of our opinions, but because of what we need to raise money for Save the Children, OK? Whether some people think it's dark or I don't quite like it, I actually don't care, and I'm not going to get into that. Because this is the future. And we need to make this even more successful, OK? I just don't want any more moans. And there have been moans, but I'm not even going to mention it again, because I just don't want it anymore. No more moans. It's not like the old days. Bloody good job it's not like the old days. That's all I say, so I'm not listening, right? I don't want to hear it. We're all in this together. We move on. So, Jo, is there anything that you want to say to the team now? You know, what's the most important message you want to give them?
And yeah, there is a lot of things we need to do to change, and I don't want to upset everyone, but if we can all work together, we want to be all working for one goal.
OK, onwards. Getting tough is no fun, but it seems to...
Mary's doing that wearing the bib. Like, it's only a little thing.
For one goal.
OK.
Like, she often stands in front of them in her snazzy work clothes, looking really snazzy and like all that, but she's wearing the bib just like, you know, just a member of the shop as well. Like.
Onwards! Getting tough is no fun, but it seems to have done the trick.
Well, I think it should work, and if we all do our best, I'm sure it will. Don't you think so?
I can hear some music there in the background.
Because of a few grumbles.
I just can't look at the balls of fluff on this floor any longer.
That was me. That was me. I spent my whole life on a sweeping brush. Like, I don't do that in this job now, in what I do here with the media, but I on the roofing, sweeping brush. In the salon, you start on the brush, sweeping brush, not the hairbrush. Like, and at the end of it all, you mop your own floor, and, you know, you're the last one to leave and you mop your own floor, don't you? So, like, that's me.
But I'm not crazy enough to think that it can carry on without some of the old guard.
Oh, look, Snowis.
Since refusing to come out on the trip to the fashion college, Brenda hasn't shown her face at the shop.
Oh, Brenda's a big story in it now, so we have got to go and follow up on the Brenda thing.
Because I want to have a chat with Brenda, because I don't feel she's very happy. Break it to me, gently.
She just parked in the road. I mean, it might be easier because the snow is, but then again, like, someone might crash into you because it's all snow is.
Let me down the easy way.
I thought, now, like, not... Brenda lives, I mean, maybe it's London. I don't know if it's London. Maybe these house prices are big. I thought she might live in, like, a more elaborate living arrangement. I thought she was quite well off and donating her time just, like, you know, because and I thought her attitude and the way she was like a bit, I don't want to say snobby, but you know what I mean, like, you know, a bit like unhappy about all the changes and stuff. Like, I just had her pegged a bit differently for her social situation in her home life. But I'm not judging. I don't know anything. It looks like a normal house like I live in. I just thought she was living in like a bit more of a, you know, big London snazzy house. Like.
Brenda, I wanted to
She's got a bit of chintz.
come and see you because last time I saw you, you were in a panic with your head in the fridge over the Coca-Cola spillage.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't come on the van with me. I missed you on that. I need you.
Yeah, I started that, Mary. I had to finish it, and doing that, I finished the kitchen floor and the toilet as well.
I just was worried about you. I was just getting like, where's Brenda? You'd had enough, hadn't you?
I had enough.
I'm just hearing that you're not really keen on the shop, but you've said you're not that keen on the shop.
Well, to me, it looks like a glorified indoor market.
Yeah, but it's working well.
Oh yeah, it is working well. Yeah, but it's not the same shop. So you've got to come forward with things, haven't you? Really.
I'm on the last sort of haul of this business now, and it's really the most vital part is getting the whole living and giving together. And I need at least some really good volunteers who I can rely on to take it to the next level, and I need you for that. I just do, you know?
Oh, bless. Like, Mary, like, in reality, I don't...
Volunteers who I can rely on
I don't know if she does need her. Maybe it would turn a tide within some of the other ladies who, you know, feel like there's this dissent in the ranks, and if you could get her back on side, it would settle that dissent in the ranks. But maybe she's just doing it for the good of Brenda, you know, maybe she's just doing that.
Take it to the next level, and I need you for that. I just do, you know?
Because I got a sense that she didn't really need her for that, like, that she could carry it without her.
You didn't really miss me.
I did actually miss you because you've been on my training, on the journey.
True.
You've understood it, and you've been one of the key players.
She's invested in her. Like, she's invested in her. The investment didn't pay off, but she's still willing to put in a bit more to try and... you know, I'm not talking just purely capitalism here, but do you know what I mean? Like, she's invested in her. So out of all the people that, like, could be still... you know, she doesn't have to tell her all this stuff. She knows it. It's just she's got to get her on side. That's all, isn't it?
I just need that kind of
The story was set up for drama. It was a little bit, wasn't it? What do you think completely? Do you think but she's just lying and really enjoyed the whole process and is just lying? I think there would have been people who were a bit of problematic, and I think for the telly they would follow it up, whereas in reality you'd probably just let them go. Like,
united energy and understanding of what we're trying to do, that then I know Joe's got this really good team of volunteer supporters. I just wanted to make sure that you were on side.
I'm still okay to come in the shop. Oh yeah, I'm still okay.
Good.
I should miss it if I don't get in. In fact, I'm missing it today now. I just don't know what to do with myself today.
Countdown. What time's countdown on, love? OK, cutie, thanks for letting me in.
All right.
And not slapping me on the old head when I came in the door. Or throwing a snow.
she keeps the house immaculate though, doesn't she? Look, it's all nice and tidy.
All at me.
So now you've got to get out the road.
Now I've got to get out and I've got to work this afternoon because we've got to keep taking the money. I was just hoping I still had her on side because she's a powerful little character, Brenda, and I need her. The shop needs her.
Hopefully the bad times are behind us, and with just 2 weeks to go to hit my £2,000 target, I need that to be the case. Today, my idea to breathe new life into my shop by selling brand new stock sourced from the local community begins.
Okay, I've got her on 1.25 speed here, so that did sound a little bit quick then, but you know what's going on.
All at the shop.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Callum, it's nice to meet you.
I'm Alice.
Hello, Callum.
Alice, hi.
Hello, Alice.
I'm Wendy.
Wendy.
Yeah, whatever your name is. But back to Alice. Hello, Alice. I'm Cameron. Hello, Alice.
Hello. Well, I've got some bags, I've got some jewellery.
I've got some bags.
Some T-shirts and...
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
This is actually a really interesting dynamic, actually, isn't it? The younger people and the older volunteers. No, I think it really works.
And I've guaranteed some fantastic...
I know this look from Alice as well. She sort of stood there with her hands, like, you know, waiting to be told what to do. These volunteers don't do that. They get in and they fuck about and mess about and get in with the bags. But she doesn't feel like it's her home base, does she, Alice? So she's like, you know, just like, you know, whatever. Like, get a brush in her hand.
Bags, I've got some
Get
jewellery.
her sweeping the floor, get her doing something. She looks like she needs something to do. But maybe she's just told to stand there for this bit of film. So.
And some T-shirts and...
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
And I've guaranteed some fantastic fashion by giving local sixth formers the chance to sell off their fashionable second-hand clothes.
Oh, they're fashionable second-hand clothes. I thought it was clothes they designed, but that's cool as well.
They make their little bit of money, we get a little donation, even if we don't make too much that way. We get the people coming in and perhaps they start spending money, they look around at other things, and I suppose that's Mary's idea, really. It just
Yes, it's a really good idea, is to get younger people coming in the shop. Yeah.
brings the other people in as well.
Thankfully, Joe's back on fighting form, 100% behind this new idea. But I hope the same can be said of the volunteers.
And that whole layout of it being like a little indoor market, very reminiscent of what I remember from the rag market at the Bullring, but on a smaller scale. It doesn't work if it's just the shop, does it? But now you've got different traders with different unique identities in there who can tell their friends and encourage people to come in. That really does work. And with that as a concept, you don't know who could occupy these tables at any given time. Like, you could open that out into various different, like you could have local artists coming in for a day, or, you know, there could be so many different ways you could run that and create a sort of ever-changing market feel so that people would be interested in what's going on in the shop this week, you know.
Are you
Mary's very astute.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're kind of like working on our final collections now, because I'm in my final year.
Of course, you're in your final year, yes.
Basically, everything's recycled. So it's old T-shirts and then like reclaimed fabrics, and then these are reclaimed seatbelts as well.
The thing is, in a way, I thought we were just going to have one lot each week, but, you know, now we've got 3 lots. I think it's too much.
She thinks it's too much.
Even though
3 different people selling 3 different styles of clothing on tables in the shop, as well as the shop, is too much. The shop used to have every kind of product you could think of come through the door, just slammed on the shelf for 50p, and that wasn't too much. But now
is feeling overrun by some of the whippersnappers, she's not going to stay out of their way. Far from it. She's going to teach Callum how selling should be done.
If I was you, you have to approach people.
Yeah, I'm dreadful.
Yeah, well, if you want to sell them, you really ought to push. Ask people as they come in or as they go out, would they like to buy a bag?
Yeah.
Then you'll get an idea of what sort of bags people want.
Because I'm just dreadful with it, because I don't want to badger them.
Not exactly badger people, but sort of push it a bit more. I mean, you could stand there and show them one. Callum with his bags, he's just standing there, and if he wants to sell them, he's got to, you know.
It's a really interesting aspect as well. I would have enjoyed it in some ways, but I don't think the bottom line of, you know, exploitation is that good. Like, do you want to buy a bag or not? It's up to you. But me trying to force a bag on you, not so good. However, the sort of dance and the game of it, like, and I don't know, like when I go into shops, I expect a person to come and help me and talk to me. And, you know, I understand they're trying to sell me products, but like, I kind of enjoy that dance from my side. Like, you know, if you've been on the perfume counter and they spray the perfumes and stuff, that's fun, isn't it? So like, you play the game and you do feel a little bit more compelled to buy at the end, I suppose. But I was there to buy perfume anyway, wasn't I? So like, I do like that, and I suppose being engaged in it from the other side might be actually quite fun. It's certainly more fun than standing there with your hands in your pockets being scared of people.
Do something about it, really.
Big up,
Well, at
Shred,
least Wendy's making an effort with our new recruits.
You were here, weren't you, earlier? You were here earlier, weren't you? You gave me a tippy.
Tutti has just gone younger by 70 years.
Which is good, because I need these bright young things to come back and do this again.
What does it feel like for you guys being in a charity shop? What does it feel like? Does it feel like a charity shop? Do you feel it?
It does feel like a charity shop. I think it feels like a real proper shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real proper
fashion
shop.
shop.
Good girl. Like Stephanie.
Imagine that, though. Imagine you're working in fashion in the 6th form, trying to get into fashion and do your next step in life as a fashion thing, and Mary Queen of Shops gives you a hug and tells you you're doing well. Like, that's going on your CV. Like, get her phone number. Like, that's going to be a massive boon to you in your career path. Hopefully, I feel like it's such a great opportunity. All these people that are getting to be near Mary and, like, you know, part of her success. Like, I think it's so wonderful of Mary to be sharing it with these people as well, in a way. I know she's doing a TV show for the telly, and, like, you know, it benefits her in lots of ways, but there's a real human aspect to all this charity shop thing, isn't there? Like, maybe we'll go on to watch the other Mary Queen of Shops episodes as well, where it won't be the charity shop, so it will be people just trying to make money. But with this, the end goal is to give money to charity, isn't it? So, like, it's all good in the hood.
Look at Callum selling.
She left hospital working to work. You're not talking about Mary there, are you, in chat? You're talking about your other stuff that you're talking to each other about. That's all good in the hood.
What I do is I do recycled clothing.
Oh, there we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. She's not just told him to sell a bag. Now he's going to get himself a girlfriend, look.
Callum selling.
Not with that bow tie, he's not, but, like, you know, in principle. She's got something tied around her head. She got a bow tie tied around her head? No. She's wearing a bow tie around her head, isn't she? She's wearing a bow tie around her head, right?
What I do is I do recycled.
He's got a bow tie on around his neck. It's a match made in heaven. You wouldn't have thought it. I'd have told him to remove the bow tie.
Clothing and accessories.
Wendy's efforts with her protege have paid off.
Well, actually, I think those bags are great.
She's got a bow tie around her head. It's perfect. It's meant to be.
Great, actually. I think he's quite engaging, you know, and I think he's probably going to act quite well with the public once they get over his rather bizarre costume.
Once they get over his rather bizarre costume, he'll do well with the public.
There's one
It's the waistcoat and the bow tie, isn't it?
final bit of good news.
Oh, Moon boots. Who's this? It's Brenda.
Brenda has made a comeback.
Hi, Brenda.
Hello.
Look at her boots. I love it, Brenda, because it's snowish, isn't it? So she's worn the moon boots.
Can the Mickey at me?
She got them from the charity shop, I'm telling you.
Because I can soon go out.
I could soon go out.
And look, matching the jacket as well, the little blue boots. Hey, what do you think to the young ones? They're young.
Yeah, very
They look
good.
good.
Yeah, very good.
It's alive.
This one's got a bow tie on her head.
It's alive. How much more exciting does that look?
She's got a big smile. She's having a great day, like I said, working with Mary Queen of Shops. Absolute wonderful opportunity for her. She's having a good time. So this is working.
It's a completely different feel. It's a lovely, lovely vibe, you know?
Today, I feel convinced that mixing old and new is going to be great for business. But my good mood is about to be ruined.
I applaud what you're doing with the shop, but I have reservations. You are moving relentlessly middle class.
Oh. Animals in and out. Sometimes there's a little glitch in the video. It's because of the YouTube video upload. It's not my internet. But he said you're moving relentlessly middle class. I get what he's saying. You know, those young, well-to-do young people who aren't from the council estates, who are making nice bags, who aren't struggling for life on the council. Now, I get what he's saying. Like, this shop is a resource for people who haven't got a lot of money. They like to come in and grab a bargain, and you know, there's that. And so by making it like this, you might be excluding that like section of the market who might feel out of place here, or that it's not for them and they're missing their, you know, bargains or whatever. I'd kind of counter that with like, don't be silly. Everyone likes nice things. Everyone deserves nice things, and making them more affordable for what you would say. I suppose he's the one with the class issue here. Like, working class people can't afford these nice shops and don't want to come in nice shops. Of course they do. And of course they can, especially if it's a charity shop and there's a discount on it because it's a charity shop. So yeah, I think he's wrong there. And also, there's lots of other places that you can get, like, you know, 10 packs of socks for £1 or whatever. Like, probably not these days with the prices going up, but you know what I mean? Like, that's not what this charity shop is. So that's all well and good what he thinks of it. But if it wants to survive as a business, as Mary is, like, this is episode 3. So she knows this from episode 1. You can't just pander to a certain tired idea of what a charity shop should be, and this guy's coming in and he's got a reasonably more sophisticated way of explaining the same gripe, which is we want it to be a load of cheap old shit, and we think that poor people just want cheap old shit, and I don't think they do. More.
What I am trying to do is to get more money.
And not that, like, you know, poor people, like, you know what I mean?
For the charity by bringing in a bigger mix. I have product in here, clothes that are priced at £2, £3, the same as it was before. I have increased another level where there's a mix of stock. Where
I love that she's able to take constructive criticism and explain her perspective. Like, she's obviously used to doing this in meetings and in, you know, more corporate structure. And so she's applying that to this conversation with this man. I think it's a really good way of dealing with him.
I can get sometimes £30
I don't know about this hand thing, but
for an item of clothing. Show me something that you would have bought before and see whether I've upped the price of it.
I've bought before.
What have you bought?
Well, the last purchase I made from here was a short tennis racket, a Speedo, 70.
The last purchase I made from here was a short tennis racket. Do you see what I mean? Like, okay, mate, you're not getting catered for. You're going to have to find your cheap short tennis racket on the random somewhere else.
The last purchase I made from here was a short tennis racket, a Speedo, 70p.
Speedo, 70p. And he's all in black as well, so he could have murdered Nicola Bullis.
In a sleeve to carry it with.
Do you think it's fair to pay 70p for a racket? Don't you think you could have paid £1.50?
No, I wouldn't.
No. Well,
because I know I can get it for £1.
Yeah.
Maybe without a...
Big ups Red Fan with the gifted tier sub to Marg. Big ups Marge. You win a tier sub. Thank you. He's arguing in the case for the 70p tennis racket. I don't know why. He could have got it for £1. £1.50 is too much. I mean, are we talking about inflation? Are we talking about principles here? Are we talking about a man who wants... And the next follow-up question I would have asked from Mary is, how many times have you played tennis with the tennis racket? Because I just don't care. Like, take your tennis racket and shove it up your arse. That's not what we're doing here. But she's very, like, nice about it, isn't she? Like, Like for me as a business, I didn't have to contend with this too much, but like if there was a difficult customer, so to speak, like this, I might have just had to say, like we did it, like I said earlier about perms is a good example. You know, people who demand a service that you just don't offer. Sometimes I can set you a price. I can just, you know, I can cost it out, do you a price. Yeah, if you're a nice person and I do something that's off the chart, I'll do it. But if I don't want to do it, I don't have to. You can't force me. So if you come in off the street and say, how much is a perm? And I say, sorry, I don't offer a perm. And they say, but I want a perm. Like, you should offer a perm. You're a hairdresser. I mean, like, why are we having this discussion? They offer a perm over there. Go over there. Like, it's bizarre, isn't it?
50.
No, I wouldn't.
No. Well,
because I know I can get it for £1.
Yeah.
Maybe without a sleeve, but I can get one for
You know
£1.
what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to genuinely fairly price things and say to people, I think that's fair and reasonable, and I think it's even more fair and reasonable for the charity.
Battery
so
20%.
In all honesty, I know you could probably afford £2.50 for a tennis racket, a fiver for the tennis racket.
Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? Thank you, Red Fan, for another gifted tear up to Robin the Hood.
Therefore, I want that customer who's prepared to pay that. You're annoyed because I'm getting a bit more money for my stuff.
I'm not annoyed. I'm outside of it. I'm
annoyed. All right, I'm annoyed.
I'm a customer.
I'm annoyed.
Who buys things less in here since you've opened.
And
it's up to you to interpret the reason for that and to decide I'm just a skanky cheapskate who could go somewhere more appropriate.
You might be a skanky cheapskate, but what you came in to tell me is that I'm...
She said you might be a skanky cheapskate. He said it. She said fair enough. I love it. Oh, Mary, I love her so much. I don't know if, like, in a personal, direct one-on-one, you know, if I was working with her, I would always agree with her way of being. You know, sometimes I might be the one to say, you know, a bit more of a humanitarian approach might not go amiss. But in general, I think she's got the right attitude, and I love this. Like, he is a difficult fucking nobody who has no business telling her how to run her business, isn't he, really? She's massively successful. She's got, like, she's given up her time. I mean, she's doing this for a TV programme, so she's probably getting paid. But, you know, she's doing all this. She's transformed the shop. They've come such a long way. And he's in there just, I liked it the way before I got a 70p tennis racket. Like, a 70p tennis racket? Show me your massive, successful fucking business with selling 70p tennis rackets then, and I'll do what you say. Like, why should she even listen? And, like, he's so pumped up with his self-importance that he'll stand in front of her and tell her. Oh my God. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll have a pop at someone's thumbnails, but to stand in front of Mary Queen of Shops and tell her that she's running her business incorrectly. Body language analysis. Look at him. Like, yeah, she's like turning away. Like it's almost like he wants to assert. You're right. Like, he wants to assert some sort of dominance. Like, maybe he has a connection with one of the ladies who was aggrieved. You know, maybe he's like one of the friends with one of the ladies who was aggrieved and thinks that someone should tell Mary. But what the fuck is he doing? Like, greasy little I don't know anything about him, but he looks like a greasy little no-mark man in black who wants a 70p tennis racket, and he's telling Mary Queen of Shops, whom I think is, like, excellent. She's got such a, like, to be honest, she's got such a great way of dealing with people as well, because, like, again, like, I don't lose my temper, and I've had to deal with people in public, you know, in the business and all that, you know, I don't lose my temper, but, like, sometimes inside you feel like, especially with customer service and one-on-one, when you're dealing with customers and a range of them, so sometimes the bad ones, like, and there are bad ones, it's not customers always right. Like, I had one woman once made one of my stylists feel really bad. She said to her, I want the highlights in the side and not in the top, and the stylist said, if you don't put them in the top, when you tie your hair up it might look funny. And she said, I don't tie my hair, I was in the room for the entire thing, if you said, I don't tie my hair up, so I don't care, I only want them in the side. She did the job, she paid the money, she left, right? The next day she come back when that stylist had a day off, and she said to me, look at my hair, she's ruined it. There's no highlights in the top. Like, this isn't right. When I tie up my hair, you can't see the highlights. So this is wrong. And I was like, but number one, she's a self-employed person with her own, like, rent-a-chair. So I'm not obliged to fix her problem, but it's my business with the name over the top. So I will fix problems. But number two, right, is you're fucking lying to me. I was there in the room. You said you didn't want them in the top of your head. So I can offer you highlights in the top of your head. I can book you back in with that same girl because she's really good. And it will cost you this amount of money. And she started shouting and yelling and I want this and I want that. And I was like, look, come out into the light. Come out into the light with the mirror. Come out into the light and let me look at what's going on with these highlights. Come out into the light. Let's stop this argument. We went outside and I locked the salon door and I said, you're not going back in there. That's me for the day. I'm locked up now. I'm going to go home and you can stand outside and shout. Like, I'm fucking done with this. I did stay outside and have a cigarette and listen to her shout for a little bit, and then I went and got in my car and fucked off. I just I'm not doing it. Like, you can't lie to me. Like, you don't have to pander to all the bad people. You don't. Just because you're running a shop or a business doesn't mean someone can come and take advantage of you. Like, what's he trying to get out of this? I want my products for 50p, please. Offer charity as well. Like,
and to decide I'm just a skanky cheap who buys.
You're annoyed because I'm getting a bit more money for my stuff.
I'm not annoyed. I'm outside of it. I'm
annoyed. All right, I'm annoyed.
I'm a customer.
Unity Calling says, I can tell you she may have done this for free. I don't know. I assume people who work on television shows get paid. Like, the production company that made this got paid by the BBC, and she's part of the setup and the star of the show, so I would assume they pay her. But off the back of this, she did Your Friend Shop, and they paid for her ideas. He changed afterwards as a person, went all snobby. Maybe. Like, I can see that. Like, we're going to probably watch some of the Mary Queen of Shops ones, the standard shops ones, and that's consumer world. There's no charity involvement, so they just want as much money as they can. Maybe, like, there is a snobby aspect to it. Maybe that is something that I'm underestimating with Mary. But in this, what I've seen from her here, it's like Gordon Ramsay effect in the restaurants. Like, you can argue and you can disagree, and he shouts at them a lot, and maybe you can't get a good old greasy burger now, but like, he improves them and he says it like it is. So if you want, like, snobby is one negative, but the world of the marketplace in retail fashion is snobby. It's about one-upmanship, elitism. That's what it is. Like, they start off with the catwalks and they're really expensive, and they're like all the names, and then you get your next level down from the creative catwalks. You get your next level of catwalk, which is like your Versace's and your big name brands that everyone recognizes, and then you get your next level. Like, so at the very top, I would say, is the most creatives who can charge thousands and thousands for just one-off pieces. Like, they're the real top, and then it filters through the fashion, so you get to like Topshop and whatever. But people are buying things because they want to snazz up and compared to other people and stuff as well, aren't they? That is the world of fashion. Yeah, there's a whole lot of negativity to it. It's a really weird one because we all choose clothes. Like, I'm choosing some quite basic clothes, but I'm wearing them. Like, we all choose clothes. So, like, yeah, I'm not going to slate fashion and say fashion shouldn't exist. Everyone gets a bit of fun and enjoyment out of it. But at the hard end of, like, snobby, elitist, like, disgusting exploitation and sweatshops and fur coats and stuff, disgusting fur, like, it can get quite bad, can't it, fashion? So yeah, like, who knows. Hotel Inspector was good as well. One of my friends worked on Hotel Inspector, Matt, the lad that I did the documentaries with. He was Hotel Inspector Uncovered. He went into the hotels, like, what did he do? I think he was the secret guest of the hotels. He videoed it secretly while he was in there and was part of the show, on the Hotel Inspector Uncovered bit.
Who buys things?
Alan was on the Restaurant Inspector, wasn't he?
Since you've opened. And it's up to you to interpret the reason for that and to decide, I'm just a skanky cheapskate who could go somewhere more appropriate.
You might be a skanky cheapskate, but what you came in to tell me is that I'm alienating people that are poor.
I didn't say
And I'm not. I'm alienating...
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. He said that you're putting off the working class. That's exactly what he said.
People like you will spend £1 on a coffee or £2 on a coffee, yet won't spend it in here.
I'm alienating people like you who will spend £2 on a coffee but won't spend it in here. She's got a good point. I'm sure his glasses cost more than the fucking things he's buying from the charity shop. Where he wants to spend his money, he will, but he doesn't see any value in the charity shop, so he doesn't want to give it to the charity and support that cause in that way. He would rather get a big bargain and have them give it in for cheap and act as a sort of jumble sale so he can get cheap items. But that's not what they want to do. They're a charity. It's a charity shop, so it's a charity shop for the charity. But because you've got in your head about what a charity shop should be, doesn't mean that a charity even needs to run a shop. Like, they're a charity, so you can't determine and you can't tell them what to do. It's bizarre. So he is bizarre, and he thinks because he's a customer, he's always right. But he doesn't represent the market. He represents a very small, insignificant, strange part of the market.
Think about alienating. I said
who's
your
your customer?
customer base.
No, Robin Hood, big ups.
As if I'm some pompous little Londoner who's come down here to create this empire. I haven't.
I wish you well. Why shouldn't I? It doesn't cost me anything.
Wish me well, because it's not for me, actually. It's for Save the Children.
Well, it's not just a question of price. Where's the variety? I wish you well.
Thank you. There's extraordinary variety, let me tell you that. I've never seen so much. But anyway, sort of.
Sod off, she says. Like she comes to the same conclusion. Just get rid of him. No, that guy's going to be a problem person everywhere he goes, isn't it? If he's a regular in a cafe, that cafe's probably thinking the same thing. Like,
I hate that implication.
She's still got the tennis rackets up there.
Alienated poor people. I really, really hate that implication. We haven't done that at all. But I know there's a lot of people who should be buying from here, who we just didn't get as a customer. And I can't do that by sending out the same old stuff that we were doing before.
I may be on the way to transforming donations with my D-Day campaign, but there's no point in improving the quality of stock if no one's buying it. And if I want to get more people into charity shops, I'm going to have to change their...
I'll tell you the one that annoys me is Poundland, because you know that their buyers buy everything in for 50p or less, yeah? Like, you're buying things that cost 20p to buy in Poundland, and everything has a massive markup on it to fit it in Poundland so that they can get... Like, you were stuffed by... Like, if they'd called themselves 50p Land, it wouldn't have been as catchy, but it should have been, because that should have been the markup to about 50p. But because they call it Poundland, people will spend £1 on something that's not worth £1. You know, like a 60p can of drink, £1, or like, you know, like everything's £1 now. So you're like negotiated into just spending £1 for stuff that's not like, instead of everything having its own price and being like 80p, 70p, 90p, like, you know, variants of price, everything gets rounded up to £1 and you pay the extra every time. So why would I buy anything from that shop? It's just tat that doesn't, it's not worth, none of it's worth £1. None of it.
Attitude to second-hand fashion.
Poundland now charges more than £1, do they?
A lot of people don't think it's cool to style themselves from charity shops. And we've seen that. We've got this fashion fix youngsters who just think it's all...
£2 eventually, won't it? I'd have thought they would have done the other thing, the shrinkflation, where they would have sold goods that would of less quality and keep the prices at £1. But yeah, like, it was always going to be an issue for Poundland, wasn't it? Because of inflation, like eventually everything will change. Like, you know, in our lifetimes we've seen the change in financial value of money. So eventually they will have to change themselves to £5 at the end.
It'll be new, or it's got to have a label. So the big thing here is to convert those customers, to make them think, do you know what, I am going to go down to my charity
shop. Like, Amazon's a bit like this as well, though. It's like a marketplace, and you used to go to the market and you used to think, this is cheap tat, I don't want this. Some things you'd get and some things you wouldn't. You know, you have the choice. It's a market, you can haggle. Poundland's a market where you can't haggle, where everything's been overpriced and costed up. It's bizarre.
I am going to see what fashion they've got, and I feel quite proud wearing it.
A few years ago, super cheap fashion retailers underwent a massive image change. What had been super naff became super fashionable.
That's true. Primani. And the reason they were able to do this is because they're fast moving, and they recognise that, for example, Armani might create a new jacket or something, or a new T-shirt, and it might be very popular, but the bigger retail brands don't copy it that much. Or there's like issues with copying, but they're also like, they're not able to sort of like create a new collection overnight. Like, you know, they've got their collections planned for the next 6 months and they're going to sell what they're selling. Whereas something's popular, something goes trendy or whatever. What Primani were able to do is say, we're going to do like a run of 30,000 of these T-shirts, sell them all, and then that's them done. We don't have to do another run of them. Faster fashion. So when things happen quickly, they were able to be more reactive and responsive. So you'd get cheaper clothes that were theoretically more up-to-date, fashionable in ways. And with the shorter runs, things would sell out. So if you got that, there were a couple of special dresses and things that people were like, this is great value for this dress. And then once it was gone, it was gone. So it actually created this sense of fear of missing out, and that increased the value of the like some Primark clothes ended up selling for a lot more than they originally sold for online in eBay because of that scarcity. So that's quite a smart thing they did, and they turned it into a big successful brand, didn't they?
And largely responsible.
But it is all sourced from fast fashion in Asia to sweatshops. So
for this was the fashion press, and now I need to get them working for me. I've got an idea for a publicity stunt. So
Flexibility, wasn't it, Primani? It was that flexibility. And as a consumer, you go in and you get, oh, that's a bit different. Oh, that's quite up to date, you know, and it's cheap as well.
enlisted the help of
Primark sucks, yeah. Fuck them, they all go in the bin.
celebrity stylist
Sweatshops, exactly, yeah.
Kate Halfpenny. And yet again,
But I'd still do this myself, right? I still do this myself. I don't know if this, what I'm wearing now might have been off Amazon. Like sometimes when I'm browsing Amazon, I'll chuck stuff in my basket that's got little zips on the side. Oh, but it's probably just from a sweatshop, and I don't investigate. You know, I know about the big shops that I've heard of that I've got to boycott, but I'm still guilty of just buying the odd thing here and there and not thinking, even as an ethical consumer that's vegan, you know.
Need my army of volunteers by
It's a jumble sale from hell.
my side. The big reason that I want you here today is that I'm going to take you all to London Fashion Week, okay? I want us to look at styling some of the fashionistas, some of the fashion press, some of the celebs, okay?
Oh my God, we're going another level up now. We're styling people with second-hand clothes from a charity shop.
We're gonna do it.
I used to do that for my photo shoots for my salon because, like, you get really wacky, strange strange different sorts of clothes from a charity. I got all these dresses once from Oxfam. They were closing down. Dresses for £1, everything for £1. So everything for £1, you say? Does that include all of the dress, like this big pink dress, like a Disney dress? Yep, that's £1 as well. Obviously, I'm not going to wear it, but I bought it, and then like loads of interesting, wacky clothes that you can use for a photo shoot and stuff. Yeah, there's that, I suppose. But like, it's going to be interesting. This one, she looks very stylish as well, doesn't she? Her hair's immaculately coiffed again.
With all the little bits of stuff that we've got here. That's amazing. This is Kate, who's going to help you.
This is Kate.
Styling, and Kate
She's a police. She's got a police badge.
is a professional stylist who styles some very glamorous women.
Fashion police.
If this publicity...
She can't be that much of a stylist if she dressed up herself like that. British Airways scarf, police badge, Eric Morecambe glasses. Like, what the fuck is that?
Glamorous women.
Where's your bananas? You bought a bag of 6 bananas, same bag, now it's 5 bananas. You want your banana back, invisible bananas. Do you remember the bendy bananas? Do you remember that because of the EU, they wouldn't be able to sell bananas that didn't bend enough? Do you remember that when it was because of the EU, like they weren't going to be able to sell bananas that didn't bend, that were the wrong shape of bendy, yeah? That was made up by Boris Johnson back in the day. He worked for The Spectator and he made that up as an anti-European story that fed into the agenda. He made it up.
Man shirt with a woman's fitted
This
blazer.
must be really fun though. I mean, I was going to say they all enjoy clothes and like styling and stuff. This actually be a fun day, won't it? Working with a professional stylist to style up some clothes.
And just do the kind of little 50s neckties and things like that. This could be a winter skirt and then you could take it through to summer and just wear
She's
it.
saying about how she's dressed with the necktie. That's how you dress. I don't trust it. Looking at the way you're dressed, I expect you to work at British Airways behind the counter when I come in with my plane ticket. You look quite ready for a day at work behind the checking desk.
You know, put tights on it in winter.
Okay, so you say?
Prints are very on trend.
Right, Graham, go on.
Put tights on it in winter.
Okay.
Okay, so you got Patsy from Absolutely Fabulous. She looks great. Yeah, this is the one. I'm telling you, I think that jacket is going to be worth more than my entire wardrobe. I've just got a feeling about it. So she's the one that did the strip. She's cool. This one's wearing that T-shirt that I bought when I wanted to look like I was a robber. She's wearing a T-shirt like she's a burglar. She's gone for neck scarf. I don't, take it off when you come indoors, maybe. She's gone for neck scarf. Next, this is the manager dressed down in black, but she's got some nice brown boots on. You can't quite see, but she's got some nice brown boots on. So she is looking quite snazzy. She's just dressed, toned down a bit. And we've gone for the packet of Refreshers stripy shirt up here, which is cool. It's snazzy, I suppose. But like the one I would pick out is the burglar. I'd say the burglar. Don't dress up like a Hamburglar.
What you say? Prints are very on trend.
Right, Graham, go on.
Well, I choose things that are attracted to the eye.
I choose things that are attracted to the eye. What do you mean? That's everything, isn't it? That you want, like, that's too vague. But if you're going to use an animal print like this, like, animal print comes and goes in fashion. Some people really love it. I used to have a girlfriend that loved a bit of leopard print. So it comes and goes. Some people really like it. But if you're going to use it, then you've got to pair it with something like... You're going to want like a muted thing to set it off against. You're not going to want print on print or print on pattern. Maybe it's going to get too much. I worry that his choices are going to start getting a bit like, you know, over the top. But
you know what I'd like to see a lady wearing as she walks along the street.
What I would like to see a lady wearing as she walks along the street.
Good for you.
I like that.
I like that. The leopard print.
They're walking on the street.
What would you put it with?
What would I put it with?
What would I put it with? Exactly, that's the question. She wants to know if he's got taste. What would you put it with? Like a pair of black trousers, maybe, or like, you know, black. Like you don't want to like step over it with the other. Do you know what I'm saying?
Put that on somebody at Fashion Week. What would you put it on? Put it with?
Nice short skirt.
Yeah.
Nice short skirt. That's what he'd like to see the lady wearing. A nice short skirt. They're asking about the patterns and the colours. He's gone for nice short skirt. He likes Bev out of Coronation Street.
Do you want something to enhance that colouring? Yeah, you want trousers or a skirt that's not going to take away the...
Exactly. Well done, mate. Correct answer.
The look of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great.
Not going to clash. Not going to overdo it, is it?
I think it's showing real potential.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
And they know he's got that right. So 10 points. Also, he is wearing that jacket. So, you know, taking fashion advice from a man wearing a camel jacket.
I do the books normally. I've progressed this morning. I've come out today with the fashions.
Before we let my lot loose at London Fashion Week, I need to turn them into
London Fashion Week?
ambassadors of charity shop style.
See, they got him in a different jacket straight away. Not at the Waltons either. Change that shirt.
This is Graham.
Why with the scarf? Why do they all have scarves? Now he looks like Scrooge. Take the scarf off.
Man about town.
He does not look like a man about town. He looks like a man about the fucking back of McDonald's.
With his hand knitted scarf, Graham looks every bit the art student or the art.
No, he doesn't. He looks like a hobo who's dressed out of a bag that he found donated to the charity shop.
Teacher.
Or the rag bag that they don't want to sell. Like, what's that scarf doing with that shirt and that stripy clothes? The jacket. He looks fucking stupid.
Or even the artist himself. Take it away, Graham.
Looks like a humbug. Did she style that? Was that woman's choice? This woman's got no idea.
Lila.
She doesn't look like she's got changed even.
Is in her wonderful vintage print dress. Prints are very on trend this season. With the
She looks like she wore those clothes when she came in. I can't see a difference.
oversized cardigan.
I don't think the pink cravat with the red skirt works.
Slung beautifully with a little scarf, making Lila look ever so sophisticated. Lila!
Did you see what she did? She gave her the fingers, look. Look at Lila.
Oversized cardigan, slung beautifully
she
with
turns,
a
she
little
goes like
scarf, making Lila look ever so sophisticated. Lila! I'm hoping my...
She's just picking clothes off the rack and making these ladies wear them. They've already chosen the clothes that are going to go on the racks. So you've got limited supply. They're just picking clothes off the rack and making the ladies wear them. And bear in mind, these ladies are all dressed in clothes that were going to go on the racks, but they had first choice, so they had them. Like, the majority of their wardrobes is the stuff that got donated. And they thought, that's nice, don't put that on sale, I'll have that. So they're already wearing clothes off the racks.
team will pick up a load of tips from Kate. But sometimes even the best in the business can struggle.
What are you talking about? So mean. I'm being mean. I'm having a laugh. I'm not being mean to everyone, Beth. I'm being nice to some people. Like, some of them are getting told and some of them are not. Which bit was I mean about? The looking like Beetlejuice. Someone said Beetlejuice in chat. Was I mean about Beetlejuice? No, we're all good.
There you go on. Oh my God.
If you want to watch how long I've been doing this tonight, if you want to watch the last three, this is a massive one. The last 3 hours of tonight's stream, I've been very positive about very many aspects of this.
I'll never
Just teasing, yeah, I know. Don't worry.
I've
got a problem.
Oh, Betty. Oh, Betty. She actually looks like him as well. She's good.
I'll never work again.
I've got a problem.
I've got a problem. Ooh, Betty, I've got a problem. Oh, my granddad used to love that. Like, I bet it's not in vogue anymore, is it that? But did he get U-treed or was he all right? Was he U-treed or did he turn out all right? They've got full episodes. They'll definitely be copyright, but the one I liked was he was going down the road with something, wasn't he? No, he's still there going, look, he's not been U-treed. He was going down the road with something and it was all going wrong. He was on top of a wardrobe. He was like the original Mr. Bean, wasn't he? I used to watch these when I was a kid. Some mothers do have them. I just want to see him going, ooh, Betty, like to do the, you know.
Why are you carrying a clock?
My watch has stopped.
My watch has stopped. He used to always have like the most strange thing to say, like with the, like to him it would make sense, and we know it makes sense because we've seen his debacle. But he'd always just say something sounding weird, wouldn't he?
Does this timber have to go?
No, that's the bedroom floor.
What was that? Anyway, back to this.
London Fashion Week is all about generating publicity. For 1 week, the world's press are all under one roof.
The most important thing today is we just want to say...
It is shit, isn't it, fashion in a way, though, isn't it? Like, you know, being able to choose things that you have taste and you look cool, that's one thing. But all having to spend fucking loads of money to go in that room is quite another.
People.
Like, everything, like, they wear and everything they have to, like, live up to and all this, like, can you just go in, just, like, in your off-day clothes? No, you can't. You have to be in today's trendy clothes and all that business. Like, it is all just a load of, like, self-important wank, isn't it? But...
Think about where you buy your fashion from. This isn't just about buying second-hand, but it's about making second-hand part of your shopping.
Just think about Absolutely Fabulous every time I see it.
And just show people, and the toughest people, let's face it, the fashion press and the fashionistas and the celebs, that wearing second-hand can look fantastic.
Yeah, but the second-hand, like, the fashionistas and the press and the celebrities are not ever going to wear the second-hand clothes because they're not going to go in those shops to browse for them. They're just going to get their buyers to provide them the latest collections from the different people that they're connected with. Like don't they even have obligations to wear certain people's clothes for commercial purposes? Like, haven't they got their own brands that they pump? They're just never going to wear those clothes. So it's about creating a bit of a media, you know, newspaper story, but it's not actually going to pay off with people from this end of the world buying from your shop, is it? What you really want to do is get those people to give you their clothes when they're finished with them so you can sell them in the shop.
Hey, there you go! Oh, look at you!
Fucking hell, they've all dressed up as well.
Hey, there's our...
I mean, put her at the front because she knows what's going on with fashion.
Guys, fantastic.
And they've got a stand and everything, Mary's charity shop.
I've got to make...
I mean, it says Mary's charity shop. It's all about Mary Porter's. It's not about the children's hospice or whatever, is it? It's
of charity stock, and I've set up a shop right in the middle.
Just so that everyone in the charity shop people know, you know. Sorry, everyone in Fashion Week knows this is Mary Porter's shop. It's not just any old charity shop.
Middle of all the action.
No, that's quite a shoe, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I bet half the stock here is from Mary's fucking friends and family who have donated some very nice things to the charity shop. There's an interesting one. That's a uniform. I bought a uniform once, an RAF jacket, and it had a few bits and badges on it, and I was wearing it as like costume because it's like fun because I got it from a charity shop. But someone was like, oh, did you actually go in the army or whatever, and did you like stolen valor? You know, someone was worried in a pub once that I was stealing, and I was like, listen mate, I'm a hairdresser, not in the RAF. Like, look at the rest of me and all my other clothes. Of course I'm not in the RAF. Would you like me to buy you a drink? I'm very grateful for your service. I'm not trying to steal valor. Do not assume these are my, you know, stripes or whatever. Have you seen my shoes? Here's a card for my salon. Like, so I'm not averse to dressing up a bit bizarre and having a laugh sometimes, but who's going to really want to buy that from a charity shop and wear it like on a day-to-day basis, you know?
Is to collar some celebrities, convince them to ditch their designer wear and swap it for an outfit from our charity rail.
I think the shoes are great.
Yeah.
I think the shoes are really good. I like the blue shoes. No,
he likes skirts and shoes and Bev from Coronation Street. What's he doing in the charity shop? And we're starting to get a bit sus about him.
Lights are a bit loud.
This isn't about selling the clothes, guys.
I mean, I'll be real. Like, you know, I'm a man as well. Like, I'm sure I appreciate a skirt and a shoe, but like, it's just the way he's sort of like got into the fashion now, and his whole angle is like shoes, short skirts. It seems a bit.
This is about styling them.
Okay.
So
He's wearing that fucking scarf. Oh, they're all wearing the clothes that woman made them wear. That woman dressed them up, and they're all wearing them. Take off the scarf.
showing them how fab they can look.
And I've spotted the perfect person to kick us off. Gossip column favourite, Peaches Geldof.
No, I thought it was someone famous. It is someone famous.
Do you know who this lady is?
Nice face.
She ain't got a fucking clue who you are.
You can't forget.
A nice face you can't forget, she says. She doesn't know who you are.
Would you mind if we styled you? In fact, they style you.
Yeah, I'm so down with that.
Yeah, I'm so down with that.
Come on, let's get going then. Right. Come on, Peaches.
This is a PR exercise, isn't it, for everyone?
And Peaches, any
But that's what today's episode was about, isn't it? She's like, I've got to get this message out to people, so it is about PR.
comments, any tips you can give them, right? And say that if there was a kind of young, kooky, cool kid coming in there.
Young, kooky, cool kid. Thanks very much, Mary. I'm in my 20s. A young, kooky, cool kid. Mary's showing her lack of awareness about what is actually cool these days. That's what all the kids are saying, isn't it? Is she hip?
Her whole outfit.
You'd wear her, I know.
I'd wear her whole outfit, yeah, but in a sort of ironic way that you're dressed up like an old lady, yeah?
I would. It's so good.
Are florals coming in again this year?
I mean, in your world, which I want to be a part of.
No, I wonder how it happens that she speaks like that, because the Geldofs don't speak like that, do they? They're not like all like, oh, I'd wear her outfit. Like, maybe it's the school she went to, but wouldn't it be annoying for Bob Geldof to have his daughter come home and speak like that, and then him say to her, like, can you stop talking like that? I'm Bob fucking Geldof, you know, speak normally.
So hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I can't help but take the piss out of that. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's just something about it. I shouldn't be so judgmental. It's the way she talks. It's just a nothing, isn't it? But hell yeah.
So let's see if my pensioners can style Peaches in an outfit she'd be proud to be packed in.
I really want to dye my hair grey. Do you have any tips?
Oh my God. You want to dye? What are you saying? Like old lady chic? You're taking the piss out of them now. Fucking hell. The stylist really fucking loves her as well. I'm getting Nuff Muff vibes from this stylist. That's what I'm getting. Look at the big smile on her.
I really want to dye my hair grey. Do you have any
Like, she's like doting on her, like the head tipped, like anything Peaches wants, let's get it for her.
tilverants?
You'll be plenty of time for
I
you
think she likes a bit of it.
to be grey, and then you'll want to dye it the colour you've got
Nothing wrong with being lesbian, of course.
now.
That's a pretty top. Skinny jeans or something.
Just give me a funny vibe, that's all the way she was like.
You'd wear that with jeans, wouldn't you?
Yes,
Whoa! That's a naked Peaches Geldof behind there. Get that on the screen. More of that.
Is that a good size?
There she is. That's actually a really nice vintage dress. No problem. Like, you put on an interesting dress, you look good because you're like wearing an interesting dress and you look good. So that was always going to work.
Just as I hoped, Peaches and the volunteers are starting to cause a stir, and the press pack are gathering.
That is actually working with the red around it as well. That works. It serves to, like obviously she's not going to have the dress fitted to her now, is she? The dress is going to fit slightly off. So you use that and it serves to pull in the waist and like tighten it up. They've probably got clips on the back just to like make it look good for the photo, but
I'm into it, yeah. I think it's very hippie.
It's this year,
no clips on the back.
isn't it?
But you can see the looseness of it on the back there, so it's not properly fitted. We're talking about Fashion Week here. Like, but you know, this kind of works. The red sash around the middle makes it seem a bit flamenco to me.
It is this year.
I'm sure she'll publicise.
She didn't wear it particularly well when she did that with her hands on her hips, but
I bought this in a charity shop. How do you like it? It's not what I usually wear, but it's really this year. You know
it's not what I usually wear, but it's really this year.
about charity shops, don't
I
you?
do, yeah.
I mean, your dad has worked for charity.
Oh, she knows her dad.
For ages and ages.
He has indeed.
And how much are you doing for it?
True, not that much, but maybe
Not that much. Your dad spent his entire life, like, you know, he's famous for doing such a lot, for creating a concept about giving to charity. He's famous for it. Don't go down the pub tonight. Give us the money. I need it for Africa. Like, he's famous for it. Like, what do you do for charity? Well, you know, after we've all been to Harvey Nicks, we like to donate a little bit of our time. Like, you don't fucking nothing, you mean? Jeez. She's made I like that old lady sort of making that subtle point to her as well on the tellis.
I will.
She fucking loves her. Look at the smile. She just wants to touch her.
It's a moral message given
Please,
to me.
please, we need you.
She might not want to touch her.
I'll spread your word. Whenever I'm thinking about buying
She might want to touch her.
designer,
What are you saying about she's had a baby now, has she?
have your little face in my head saying, we need you. There's so much more life in
Bob Geldof would be turning in his grave if he was dead.
clothes and, vintage clothes, because you can think, who wore this before me? What was their life like? How come they gave it away? What memories does it hold?
You could what? What? You tend not to try and worry yourself about who wore it before you. What memories does it hold? Did they die in it? You tend not to think about that when you're buying from charity shops. I tend more to think, is it in good condition? Has it been given a good steam clean? No, I'm not thinking, what was the story of the person who owned this before me? I mean, I'm wandering around in my charity shop clothes. She's just rambling.
It's kind of soulless buying something from a sweatshop.
It's kind of soulless buying something from a sweatshop. And what are you here to present at Chat Fashion Week? All my sweatshop clothes.
Hey, Jodie, come here, mate.
Oh, and here's an interesting challenge for our styling team.
I've been in one or two
Jodie Harsh, DJ.
before, but it's not usually where I go and get my clothes.
Right, listen, I need...
Isn't it? Because you do look like... Wait, he's got my jacket on. He's got my sparkle jacket on. Wait. Does this mean I'm cool or not? I can't decide. I don't know if it means I'm cool or not. Obviously, I don't wear this. Well, I do wear this jacket out sometimes because I don't give a fuck. But sparkly green jacket. Last time I wore this was a birthday celebration event where everyone was getting all dressed up. So I wore my normal clothes and put this on. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're all smart, sparkly dressed up." And I'm like, "Yeah." I just, I'm wearing my normal shit clothes, but this suddenly makes it. I know about fashion. Oosh.
Need people like you to spread
I'm like Jodie Harsh.
the word to charity shop, okay? So Trish is going to style you. Will you let her style you today?
Well, you do look fabulous, so
Doesn't she?
come on then.
I knew.
It must be difficult. They must have booked these people to turn up for this. Like, you can't expect this to happen at Fashion Week on the random. You'll need to do the filming. You must have called Jodie and said, "Are you going to be at Fashion Week? Can we do a segment with you? This about a time, this on this day." Like, you must have planned this in advance. Because otherwise as well, Jodie Harsh is going to turn up and say, "Yeah, I'm quite happy to just take off all my clothes that I spent all day getting ready and picking out and just wearing some random charity shop shit for 10 minutes for your photo." Like, it's quite an ask on Fashion Week to take off all your clothes and change. In a way, or maybe it's not. Maybe Fashion Week people are just in and out of the clothes a lot. But I would have thought they would spend a lot of time getting ready, and it might be like a bit of an inconvenience to have to take it all off again when you arrive.
To really get the word out, we need more than just celeb endorsement. I need the press to write about us.
Joe, nice to meet you. I'm Trisha. Glad you came to see.
These ladies are having a great day.
And before we know it, the power of the grey rinse has some of Britain's most influential fashion editors flocking to our shop. Hey, morning, Karen.
Of course they're flocking to the shop. Fashion Week's boring. Like, if you're interested in fashion, then you've got the different fashion to look at, and it is also boring, really, isn't it? Like, it's why you need people like Victor and Rolf, and it's why you need people like I suppose it's not, what's her name now? It's Alexander McQueen, rather than may she rest in peace. I can't remember the fucking name. The punk one. You'll say it in chat now. The punk one, the punk lady, the fashion designer. With all the clever ideas. Vivienne Westwood. You know, you've got a few people like that are interesting. That's it, Vivienne Westwood. That's it, Beth. Yeah, Westwood. You've got a few people like that are interesting, and then you've got like a load of boring fucking nonsense that's just like, you know, this season, isn't it? And like they put that outrageous stuff on the catwalk so you will look because it's boring. So this is for the fashion editors. This is not boring, right? This is not boring. This is the punk one, the pretty one, and the butch one. This is not boring. This is exciting and fun for the fashion editors as well. You've got celebrities involved. You've got a TV show. You've got the angle that it's a charity shop thing. You can write a story about it. It's your job done for the day. You turn up at Fashion Week needing to write a column. Don't you? Writing a column. You're going to be going to the different fashion things and writing notes for your column, and it's going to be boring. But you put the 2 photos of this, Peach is gelled off in a charity dress. That's your thing done for the day for your editorial. Like you can write that up and that's your story. So Mary's made it easy for them as well. What she should have done is just give them a press release to go with it all on, and they won't have to even work. That's what they prefer.
Good God, you look amazing. Right, see you. Calgary from British Vogue. I'm going to hand you over.
Okay, I'm
to
in
my
your hands.
Oh, she looks lovely though. I'd love to marry her. I don't know anything about her, but she looks pretty and she works for British Vogue. So I'd just be like, yes, that's a match made in heaven for me. Everything negative I've just said about the fashion industry, but I watch Absolutely Fabulous and Vogue, yeah, we could get Maris. We can get Maris. I'll drive around, I'll be passenger in the Chelsea tractor, I don't care. Let's get Maris. Don't you need a house husband to sit at home and do streams all day and look after your house? Don't you need someone to do that? You can work at Vogue, you be the career woman, I'll just sit, I'll just give you the massage. Like, wow, Vogue.
Stylist. So if I wore that skirt, what would you put on the top?
Simple and get nice one.
What the fuck are you doing asking her? She volunteers for a charity shop. Like, what would you pair it with? I suppose this is the job, isn't it? They're styling the woman from Vogue. Just, why don't you tell me woman from Vogue and I'll just agree with you. Please, please, please put our stuff in Vogue. Please, please, please say something nice about it in Vogue.
What do you think?
That's nice. Yes.
Oh, you're talking about, sorry, you were talking in chat, you're talking about, Hutchinson on the bed with Paula, aren't you? Paula Yates, yeah, that was sad.
All right. Am I ready?
You just dressed her down in a black jacket, you can't see her anymore. What's that?
Do us one little favour. If you get a minute, write about it in Vogue.
Right, yeah, right. If you get a minute, write about it in Vogue, says Mary Queen of Shops. She does, like, when she needs to, she's just saying what she needs to do and, like, putting the pressure on there. Just when you get a minute, like, we haven't mentioned it explicitly, but please do write about it in Vogue. I don't know if she would ask, like, you know, like, I suppose you have to, don't you? Like, you have to say, like, look, make sure you do this. So the next time you see her, you can say, oh, did you write about it in Vogue? Do you remember I said to? Not just, oh, you came to our shop, it's nice that you wrote about it in Vogue, but you write about it in Vogue. Like,
But it's a charity shop.
Okay, yes.
there's a beret again. I do see the thing with fashion is, for everything negative I've said about it, it's fun to dress up in clothes. It's fun to have different styles. It's fun to have your own style that you stick with and you think is more you, but then to go outside the box and just wear random shit for fun. Like, it's fun to have fun, isn't it? So I'm not against that, but what I don't like is the pressure that people feel to spend extortionate amounts of money on stuff that is just fun and doesn't need to have all that smoke blown up its arse to be so self-important. You know, Nakwa Sweetie and all that. You know, it should be fun and it shouldn't be pompous, should it, Si?
The way fashion works is everything comes back around and again, and rather than going...
That's true. She's bang right about that. Everything comes around again because they don't have any very good ideas. Like, because you can't have that many ideas. Look at what Kanye wears. If you go outside of what people choose, like, well, if it doesn't come around again, we're going to use different ideas then. What other ideas are those? They're shit ideas that look stupid. Like, the future doesn't have to be us all wearing stupid clothes, does it? Please. Like, don't redesign the shoe. The shoes have been designed now. They look good. Don't redesign them, because otherwise they'll be, like, funny shapes. Like your stupid Yeezys.
To High Street and buying a kind of this week's copy of...
I like her. She's very pretty as well.
Something that happened...
Fashion editor, The Guardian. Right, she's my new favourite. Out of all the ladies on the show, she's my new favourite. She's pretty, she's fashionable, and she works for The Guardian. So that's a match made in heaven for me.
15 years ago, you can go to a charity shop and for less money buy a better version of the real thing. It's just a no-brainer, really.
Yeah.
It's really, really elegant on you.
That's what we were doing when I was young as well, right? Is we were, you know, I was a bit of a freak and a geek and an alternative, you know, sort of like before Marilyn Manson was a sex offender. You know, into Nirvana and Marilyn Manson and stuff. So you could go in a charity shop and you could source yourself like a long black coat or, you know, something a bit like interesting to go with your clothes. Like you might not dress every item out of the charity shop. You might also have to go up to the Oasis in Birmingham or to the markets like Camden Lock Market in London, you know, to get your cool clothes. But you get your cool clothes and you also mix and match with some fashion stuff from a charity shop, like, you know, a coat like out of the Crow, vintage. And flares were in it at one point as well while I was younger. So, you know, like charity shops are good for that. And like that sort of fashion. That's where I think the top end of fashion shouldn't just be you go to a fashion show, it's there on the catwalk, you buy it and now you are cool. That's not cool. But being able to say, oh, this is like £600 from Armani, but I paired it with this, which is 50p from a charity shop, because I'm cool and I made it all go together and it was cool. Having individual choice, and the only way you're really going to get that is through the charity shops, because if you just go to the high street, you're going to be wearing the same clothes as everyone else anyway. Like at the high end, you're wearing the same clothes as everyone else that can afford it. At the low end, you're wearing the same clothes as everyone else. Like you're not individuals wearing your own unique fashion choices unless you source outside the box in unique individual spaces, because otherwise you are literally wearing the same clothes as everyone else. They sell hundreds of thousands of them. Like everyone, you know, when you go and buy a pair of shoes and you're like, oh, that's very me, that's very my style, that's very me. They sell hundreds of thousands of those. It's not unique. It's not very you, it's very just everyone. Whereas, if you dress like Scotty Hottis, look, you're not going to see many people dressed like me today, look. Because I'm dressed like I'm wearing my fucking pyjamas, so. But if I needed to go to the supermarket, I would go in these clothes, I don't care.
Does have that ode to charity shop.
Big up to Unity Calling. Our shop has a very, very high standard of what we put out. Oh, you got a shop, have you? Is everything I'm saying offending you then? Because I'm just reacting to what I'm seeing on the screen and just saying things, so hopefully it's all right. It's interesting though, isn't it? Like overall, like as everyone else, I'm a consumer. I buy clothes and I enjoy it and I want to look cool and snazzy and like, you know, have my opinions. But then when you pan back from it, it's just like all just silly nonsense, isn't it? But like that's like everything in life, I suppose. Googling a puffball skirt. A puffball skirt is like shaped like out in like it sounds like in a sort of roundy puff, just above the knee.
It does fit, yeah. Actually, the times we live in means that people are going to be wanting to put more effort into finding a...
Listen, if I hadn't been a hairdresser, there's every chance I could have been a fashion designer. At that time, I was looking for a job that wasn't roofing, that was a bit more pleasant to be in the environment, you know, indoors, nice environment. Hairdressing is fashion related, obviously. Like, I have to be interested in it to do hairdressing. You can't ignore fashion. I had Vogue in the salon, you know what I mean? So I was interested in it, and the choice to go into what I went into was not arbitrary. I had family connections with hairdressing, but like I could have done something slightly different. It would have been interesting to do. I like the idea of dressing people as well, and like the whole thing. But I have got reservations, like I said, about that whole top end industry side of it.
So I think that our readers will...
This programme made charity shops up their game. I think it did in a way. I think there was a ripple effect. I certainly know in my local town there was a charity shop that opened from the hospice, and it was this. It was exactly this. They went hard, high end, and it was just right for my town. You know, our town, Stratford, where I live, is quite posh in lots of ways, so it was perfectly right for it. I used to go in and buy things. You know, I thought it was a very good move. Yeah.
Be more adventurous about it than I probably am.
We'd love you to try and encourage through your column.
Listen, I agree with you, Frying Freddy. It's good to have your own style and not follow what fashion dictates. But also, if you go too hard down that road, Eddie Izzard did a funny one where he said, fashion is like a circle, and you start off looking like you get cooler and cooler. You start off looking like a dickhead, but you get cooler and cooler and cooler and cooler, but you can go all the way around and end up looking like a dickhead again. So, I'm on stream. So, you know, I'm not defending my jacket. It came up because that person was wearing it in that. But I wear funny hoodies because I'm on stream as well. I also wear them in real life. However, if he was going to be going uptown Birmingham or something, I'm not going to be dressing like some clown so that I draw attention to myself and look stupid. I'm going to be dressing like most of the other people on the street, a bit more smart and a bit more buttoned down. That's how I like to roll. For being out in public. and a bit more understated as well. Like, but if I'm the centre of attention and people are looking at me, then I might wear a bit more snazzy clothes, I guess. Like,
Yes. Others to shop, charity. Donate, don't dump.
Of course I will.
Lila, get the other side of Lisa so we get a good Lila.
I will be writing something. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
That is so
see, fashion editor of the Times will be writing something. Of course she will. It's a ready-made story. Mary Portas reinvents charity shops for London Fashion Week.
You know what? Look at her hair. You two separated at birth.
We're like twins.
That's not. Is that? This one's a.
She's my younger sister.
It's Patsy Manning and Patsy Manning.
I think it's a great idea for Mary to be doing this because charity needs a better name. It needs a bit of an update. I think people see charity shops as being a bit fuddy-duddy, a bit stale, but in reality, I mean, look at the stuff here today. I mean, this is a great outfit that I've got from Charity Clothes. You can go to a charity shop and bust up a great look. So.
And she's doing exactly what people like. I've shot so many of these little like talky heads like this. She's thinking on her own feet about the positive. She's saying very much like what Peaches Geldof said. This is what this is about for the TV show, isn't it? It's about getting these shots of these people saying these things into the TV show and bringing up the quality of the show. It's worked.
So I think it's really cool.
Hey, Miss O'Connor, come in.
Who's this?
And just as the day is drawing to a close, the queen of the catwalk has come to check us out.
She's a supermodel. I've changed my mind. Now everyone else is in the bin. She's my new favourite. We're getting married. I'm not such a big fan of the short hair, to be honest.
Convince Erin to wear second
Erin.
hands, and that's a
Of course,
powerful
Erin the
message
supermodel.
to everyone.
How's
Very
it
nice to
going?
meet you.
Right, who's in charge of dressing the glamorous Erin?
What would you do?
Erin who?
It's very
I
nice.
actually fancy the one from The Guardian more than Erin, to be honest.
Let's try it underneath.
Put a belt round it.
Yeah? Yeah, no, that's...
Put a belt around it, like that other woman did earlier.
Oh, like I'm about to be...
They've all got ideas, look, for Erin. And Erin's like, fucking hell. Like, she's worn every item of clothing you've ever seen, probably, walking up and down catwalks. So she probably don't give too much of a shit, but, like, she's probably got better things to be doing during London Fashion Week than this. Erin the supermodel.
It's wonderful. Oh, that's nice.
I'm not sure if it's safe to have Graham so close to a supermodel.
Is she a supermodel, though? Because she just seems to be a normal model. Like, I've never heard of her.
Very exciting. It's the first man I've had for a while.
Like, the supermodel category came with Naomi Campbell and others, didn't it? It was like a higher echelon, a special echelon. I don't think if I've never heard of you, you can be considered a supermodel. And that's not because I'm the arbiter of... I don't think you've all heard of her either. So.
She is a lovely girl. What a smile and what a bone structure her face.
Would you, in our charity shop clothes, can you do a little catwalk?
You go,
She doesn't even look that... She looks like the other lady. She doesn't look like especially attractive... Like, Erin here does not look like she's got special bone structure. I think she's tall, but she doesn't look like special... Like, in her face, she's not like... Like, she just looks like a normal person. She's not strikingly... Like, that's not offensive to her, I hope, but don't you see what I mean? Don't you think what I mean? Like, I'm not seeing what they're saying. She knows how to walk and she's tall. Like,
Some of the most glamorous women on the planet have proved today that when it comes to looking fantastic, you
they're
don't
dressed her in a bolero jacket.
always have to think new.
The idea of picking up something unique is so
She looks like Adam and the Ants.
good. It's a brilliant way of looking at it. And yes, I think they were rather excitable in the best.
Honestly, I'm not being negative ninny here, but she hasn't got striking bone structure like some people. No offence to Erin, she's reasonably pretty and she's a supermodel. She's doing all right for herself, but her jawline here and the cheekbones, it's just not there. That lady was being too kind to Erin. But why do I have to critique Erin's face? Well, just the lady mentioned it.
Possible sense.
Keep going on your mission. You do great.
Sorry, Erin.
Donate, don't dump.
Exactly.
She fucking walked off. She can't get.
Fantastic.
Take that scarf off, you fucking dick.
Real great experience. I wouldn't have missed it for the world, really. It's just something I'm not used to. You know, I've mixed in different circles to this, and it's certainly a fantastic experience.
Yeah, I'm sure it is a fantastic experience.
They have just been such
In lots of ways, but in other ways, I bet it'd get on my nerves as well.
incredible support
Like, trade shows, like, tend to get on my nerves as well.
to me today.
Like, it's not a social gathering, is it? Everyone's got an agenda. Like, they're all there to sell their products. They're all there to make their networks and stuff. And like, but in other ways, like I've been to computer game trade shows where, okay, that's going on, but everyone's great and has a good fun time. So maybe there's that behind the scenes as well. But it's a trade show, isn't it? Really, like, you know, I don't want to buy any of the things from any of the stalls, so I'm not really going to enjoy this as much. But they're running their stall, so it's been fun because they've had celebrities come. So
incredible. I honestly do feel humbled every time I work with these people. I mean, they have been on their feet all day. They've been selling. I've
been to enough hairdressing trade shows, I'll tell you that, you know.
Pushing it, and I just want people out there to get this message that we have some great
They always used to love Salon International every year. It's the same fucking thing every year. Salon International. Like, how many wash basins do you want me to look at?
In charity shops. Come and shop with us. And the next
They've got all the new snazzy haircuts going on, and like, you know, on stage everyone's doing a haircut, and it's like, look, I cut hair every day.
I find out that our hard sell has paid off. The London paper, Metro, to break through during Fashion Week.
What year did this come out? I don't know. Uh, 2007. Oh, wait. The series began with a 4-week run on the 7th of June 2007. Oh, that's Mary Queen of Shops. No, the charity shops one specifically was 2009. 2009. And as I said earlier, there was a credit crunch and the world was difficult, but we haven't even recovered, so it's all still apt.
Celebs are all out. I just think it's brilliant. But our work isn't done yet. Today is D-Day, a big day for my army.
Oh, it's the big D-Day.
Of volunteers, and a really important one for me.
I have to look at the stairs.
That's right.
I've spent months trying to solve the biggest problem facing
These two have become good friends, haven't they?
charity shops, dire donations. Today, my volunteers are going to
They
find
should have sent someone with them that's like going to be able to carry the bags.
out if D-Day works.
Is this Google? Are they actually at Google's offices? Was that Google with all the deck chairs? It was actually Google having the Google-style offices, like the famous Google offices with like deck chairs and bean bags. Or was that just art on the wall? I think it must be Google because they wouldn't show it, would they, to like give you that impression otherwise? I didn't listen properly earlier.
Ah, girls, I really hate to disturb you,
No, it can't be Google.
but could I see some hands of people who have brought in just a little bit today?
Who's got their hands up? We've got a few hands up, but come on, they better not. Like, she's got a fucking suitcase full. So there are a few, but and there's a load of boxes here. I don't know if that's their normal working stuff. I think this lady's just brought, like, this one here, right? She's come up with all the goods, and she's got like boxes and boxes, and the others haven't really bothered.
I don't believe you.
Oh no, there's quite a few.
Come on, I must give you a hug. And this one
I mean, it looks like she's got enough stuff on her desk anyway. Like,
as well. Come on.
they've all got, like, what are all these piles and piles of things on their desks? Is this a working environment for people?
Thank you so much, really. You've got a lovely office here.
It's been a week since my ladies spoke to hundreds of workers at their respective businesses. And now they're going to find out if their pitches have paid off. Are those bags full of tact or treasure?
Right, we've got lovely men's jeans.
I think it's interesting getting into the bags while they get donated and showing them in front of the people, like, thanks very much or no thanks to the people, because you don't even have to take it off them if you don't want, I suppose, but also it gets them to, like, give you better stuff because they might be seen in public handing it over and getting it out.
Dire shortage. Men never give us anything worth selling.
Due to expanding waistline.
Yeah, I'll tell you why men never give you anything worth selling, right, from my perspective, is because I will wear that same pair of jeans until there's holes in it and it's done, and then it's just good for the scrap. I don't need to hand out, like, my old clothes because I fucking wear them. And until I worn them until they're rubbish, I don't need to buy new ones. Like, I've got about 3 sets, like most men, I've probably got about 3 sets of jeans on rotation. The new ones, the old ones, the middle ones, and when the old ones are worn out, we'll buy a new set of new ones. Like, they're on rotation.
We all suffer with that one, sweetness, don't we?
Oh, this is gorgeous. So why did you wear it?
I don't think I've ever worn it because I have too much choice as it is. I'd be really pleased to donate even more.
You see those Gola shoes?
As it is. I'd be really pleased.
Them that she's just touching there, those little trainers. What are they? Are they Gola or they look fucking awesome. They look like they're made with like really cool material and that yellow. She don't get her wear out of them. Maybe they don't fit her properly. We've all got a pair of shoes like that, haven't we? They look a bit snazzy, but don't get your wear out of them. Maybe it's the wrong colour scheme for what she wears or whatever, but they look cool. Like cool if you wear them with the right clothes at the right time. A bit too much if you're not. But that like I kind of like she's giving out some quite cool stuff here.
Donate even more.
That's all I can carry. Hopefully do a regular collection here through the year.
I think we have a wonderful
Don't get me wrong as well. Like I'm sure we've like all men have got our smart jeans. And like maybe there's two, like some men are really into it, aren't they? And they buy all sorts of clothes and all that. But we've all got our smart clothes as well. Like, but I don't just sort of tend to wear like 10 different pairs of smart jeans. I don't need 10 pairs of smart jeans. I need 2 pairs of smart jeans. One for the smart thing that I'm doing, and the other one in case I have another smart thing I need to do the next day. Like that's it. Was it a Limmy sketch?
No, I really think it's
Smart Casual, the Limmy sketch. Is it? Limmy does get me copyright hard because it's BBC stuff. But Limmy Smart Casual. Is there a Limmy sketch I haven't seen? I must have seen it because I watched all of Limmy, but it's not logged into my memory like the other memes he's created.
Smart Casual. Smart Casual. Smart Casual. Smart Casual.
I mean, I don't tend to go for the blazer. Like I tend to go for a more snazzy jacket, as you've seen, and I don't like. I'm the other way around with my smart casual. I used to wear smart trousers like for work, and then a like more relaxed like jacket maybe. But I'll be like smart jeans and a cool jacket is smart enough for me these days. If I'm at a smart event and I need to look smart, like a wedding or something, then it will be the full suit. Like if I'm wearing the jacket, I'm wearing the full suit. I'm not just wearing the blazer. I'm either going full suit or. Like I don't need to wear a blazer because these days you don't need to look that smart because even jackets that aren't blazers still can look smart, if you know what I mean. Like you can still get quite smart jackets, can't you? A bit snazzy jackets.
Smart Casual. Smart Casual.
Smart Casual.
Smart Casual.
That was me, the walk of shame. Oh, he's got blood all down him. Since we're doing it, there is just the classic. And then we go back to Mary Portas.
Shh, here it comes.
She's told the race against Sato. She's told the race against us.
She's on the race against you, mate, aye.
She's told the race against us.
what's worth it. And I would love to do it again, really. I'm surprised. Pleats are back in, aren't they? And as you walk and they swing, the boys really look. And they say, oh, hasn't she got nice legs?
I don't know what happens when I turn around. The boys
This
think.
one's been great. You know, I said at the start of
Thank
this.
you very much.
I said at the start of this, I don't know if this episode is going to be that good because the other ones were good and this is the last one. I thought it was like a summing up, bit of a different one. But it's not. It's been really good. It's been a right laugh and it's showing me a different side of the world that I wouldn't normally have poked my nose into a bit. Obviously, I've been critical because I'll be a bit critical sometimes and I've been having a laugh as well. But the fashion industry is a straight, like, enigmatic space. There are some things I love about it and there are some things that I find despicable, like in the same space, if you know what I mean. Like, and I suppose the despicable aspects override it. Like, you know, how many catwalks have had fur going down them? How many of these fashion houses just don't give a fuck? Fur sweatshops, whatever. Like, you know, and the elitism of it all. But then wearing interesting clothes, dressing up fun, like pretty people, like coming down the catwalk. Yeah, I could sit there. That'd be interesting. I could sit and watch a catwalk show and enjoy myself every day of the week as long as it's interesting clothes and not just, you know, boring stuff. But like, or even, you know, even if it's not that interesting clothes, if it's, but you know what I mean? I could probably, if you're in fashion, you probably get bored of them. I don't know. But like you go to a theatre production or something, if someone said, would you like to come to a fashion event? It's going to be this fashion event catwalk show. Yeah, a few drinks, sit and watch the show. It's a show, isn't it? So like, there's a lot of positives and a lot of fun to it. Yeah.
Love a man
menswear. After me. Oh, that looks interesting, yes. D-Day was a wonderful idea. I'm only cross that I didn't think of it myself. Our shop, we're definitely going to go back and look at the map and find some other companies.
It just goes to show how much great stuff is gathering dust in the back of people's wardrobes.
Dress for you, it's a wedding dress. I have to say, it's not
There's
my
music on in
wedding
the
dress.
background here, but
I
I'm
just wondered how much you might get for it.
a wedding dress.
Easily get 300.
300, yeah. But you've got to sell it to someone who specifically wants to get married in that dress. It's a very difficult sale to achieve, isn't it, if you're not selling a lot of wedding dresses. But maybe their shop specifically, because they're not the same as Mary, they're a different shop. Maybe they get, through wedding dresses. Interesting. And to give your wedding dress to a charity shop as well, that's a very interesting move.
Minimum, I'm telling you, but you can get easily. This is beautiful.
Oh, look at him. I'm overwhelmed. It's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I think that, one day, and we've got all this, if we do this on a regular basis, it'll be phenomenal.
It's just an amazing feeling.
And you just imagine the amount of money that it's going to raise and how many children it's going to help.
They've got fucking loads of stuff, look. Oh, look, she's going to have a cryis. Oh. I mean, for them, I think specifically,
It's okay.
like, I don't know what their journey is because they cut it out of the edit, didn't they? But they spoke about her charity, and when they said her charity, I think they meant her charity as well. I don't know if she runs the shop, on behalf of a charity, or if it's her charity. And she mentioned children then as well. So, I wonder if their journey has been, touched with sadness in their own private lives, and that's why they support the charity. And so to be doing something like this that makes a difference in the world, beyond that, makes them feel. It's making me feel emotional now just talking about it. So yeah, bless them.
Regular basis, it'll be phenomenal.
It's just an amazing feeling.
And you just imagine the amount of money that it's just going to raise and how many children it's going to help. It's okay.
Yeah, you sure?
I'm so pleased that my D-Day campaign has been a success. I finally found a way to improve the quality of donations.
Bless, yeah. You wouldn't want to wear a second-hand wedding dress. You don't get any good energy from it, yeah. It would be all right if it was like your nan's wedding dress or something, wouldn't it? Or like, a hand through the generations, like, in that way. But somebody else's wedding dress, and like, what happened to their marriage that they wants to give it away? Like, maybe they've got a very lovely, happy marriage and it's a wonderful blessing, but it's somebody else that you don't know. So, like, it just seems a bit weird. You might love the dress or you might not. You have to remove yourself from that story, and you have to just look at it as a dress and say, this is a great value vintage wedding dress. Do I want it? Rather than the person that got married in this has now had a divorce.
Not just for these ladies and their shops, but just maybe for every charity out there. Today, it's D-Day for me. I took over my shop in Orpington to prove that charity shops can be as good as the best retailers on the high street. I'm meeting the bosses to find out if I've succeeded.
Ultimately, it's going to come down to this, isn't it? Did they increase the sales? The answer is going to be yes. But because beforehand, they were making £10 a head per person per month. Like, they weren't doing any sales before. That man bought a tennis racket for 70p. So you could increase the sales by selling fucking pencils in bulk. Because people still want pencils, I guess. I don't know. Like, sell anything. You could have had a shop called the Plastic Bag Shop. Buy all your plastic bags from the Plastic Bag Shop. All your plastic bag needs under one roof. And just sold different varieties of plastic bag. Like, and you would have still increased your sales because it would have had more of a specific purpose. Like, before, you had a jumble sale that people like went in occasionally to try and find a bargain. Like, it just, of course you've increased the sales, but it's been more about what we've seen across the whole journey. It's been more than that, hasn't it? It's been about the human aspect of the process as well. And to succeed for Mary, I think the bigger question is, are the people that worked in the shop before, now if you had a vote, I know a lot of them have walked away, so they're going to vote no, but if you had a vote, is it that the people who work in the shop now think it's better and can see the improvement in their day-to-day lives as well and understand the concept? Like, that has to be part of it, because Mary made a big point that was a big part of it. So.
And it all boils down to one thing: whether my changes have made a difference where it counts.
This is her house. She lives in a fucking lovely house, doesn't she?
Till.
There could, quite honestly, be a situation of, that was fine, we know we've improved sales, but glad to get her out of the way. But
If that's the case, I can honestly say I've given it my all.
Yeah, the question is whether they want to roll it out to the other charity shops, whether every shop should have a manager and be in this vein. And I think no. I think it's situational. I think that, I sound like Dark Side Phil now, cheese is situational. But certain high streets are going to benefit from transforming their charity shop in this way. And other places are not going to see a massive improvement and spend a lot of money, and it would be a slightly out of place shop. But having said that, I think they should still go for it in those places because it will bring up the standard of the high street in that area and encourage like more like upward like thrust in that area. Like, and as she said, she's not excluding working classes, and I think that working class people also want to wear nice clothes. So like, I think that it's not the case that you should say this is a not a very glamorous high street. It doesn't have the same sort of appeal as some of the other more upmarket areas that we have charity shops in, so we should run a shithole. I don't think that's the case.
That's what I can honestly say.
I mean, look at that. Wait. I know she's like making top bucks in retail in London or whatever, but look at the size of the room, the big windows. Is it Georgian? I think it's Georgian. Wait, the fireplace isn't Georgian, is it? Is it? I don't know. It looks Georgian anyway, like big, or maybe it's Edwardian, but the big windows, the lovely polished floor. This is a Chesterfield style sofa. Like, she's got real good taste, hasn't she? Like, she's chosen really nice things in the room. It looks like the sort of room that you might go to if you went to therapy or something, and like you go to somebody's house and they have a lovely house and like they've dressed it nicely and you're like, oh, I don't know, it just looks like a really nice inviting space. It's because of the couches. I can imagine a therapist sitting there and me lying on the couch like
Selfish, and me personally,
maybe I should go to therapy more.
I want to look at this business in 3 years and going, I developed that to a new level, you know? And I did my bit for charity in that way. I do. And I really...
I have a sense that Mary's competitive and driven in the sense that she would like to see it succeed for the charity, but also to prove her point and to make sure that she's done the right job. Like, you know, to get a sense in herself that, yes, she did the right thing and her decisions were good. Like, you know, to be competitive and succeed.
Really want them to do this. If I've managed to reach the target set for me, there's a chance the charity will roll out...
Her reputation is involved, but also she doesn't really have to care. She can just walk off and have her success elsewhere if she wants. Like,
my ideas across all its 120...
But yeah, will they roll it out across the 100 shops? I think no, but I think they should. Like, I think high streets like this, you might, like, you know, say just a normal standard high street. Well, I don't know where this is, but like, you know, your more down market high streets with the effects of what's gone on in our economies doesn't mean they shouldn't have nice shops. It's just they're devoid of nice shops because of the problems in our economies. Like, they've gone down market, but like, we used to have Woolworths and now we've got the Poundland, haven't we? But like, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try and establish like quality on the high street, especially at a reasonable price for your charity shop. So yeah, I'm going to say you should roll it out.
Shops. It's time to meet the bosses.
On the other hand, if you're running all those charity shops and you're going to suggest that, well, I suppose this is the issue, right? Is that I was going to say, like, if you're running those charity shops and you're going to put a manager in every shop now, and they're going to cost you a salary every year, and you have to deal with like sickness pay and like, you know, any and all problems that come along with hiring a large workforce, they maybe they don't want to do it. You know, maybe they don't. But if it makes more money for the shop, why would you not do it? Because you're turning your businesses that don't make as much money into businesses that make more money. But the question is that enough money to cover all those other things you have to worry about? And it goes from everything from normal stuff like sickness holiday pay to somebody got in an argument in a shop and then you have a lawsuit on your hands because the manager said, or, you know, random shit that goes on. But it all has to be factored in. And the costs of having a workforce, you know, the negative aspects to that. In most businesses, the benefit the workforce provides outweighs it, and that's why we all have jobs. So I would suggest that it probably is a good idea still.
Save the children. And I don't mind admitting...
Because changing the style of the shop is one thing, but employing people is the big difference. Mind you, he was already employed. Out of everyone, he should lose his fucking job. Out of everyone. We haven't seen him for a while, have we? Old Dopey.
A bit nervous.
He's moved up the chain. He's moved up into the corporate office, hasn't he? He's not even having to go in the shop anymore. But that was his job. That's what he was doing for all the shops. He was doing Mary's job, and he was doing it really badly and hadn't noticed all the problems. So she had to come in and point everything out, and now he's useless.
This is where the decisions will be made. This is where I want from them to say, yeah, it's worked, we're going ahead with it.
It's vital. Otherwise, I will feel that I've just achieved a kind of a nice, buzzy shop that hasn't got a kind of relevance to the rest of the charity businesses. I want them, Save the Children, to pick this up and run.
I agree with what she's saying, but as you said in chat earlier, I think this had a ripple effect on charity shops in general, because I think you could see it on the telly and you've got a brain, so if you didn't pay attention, then you were stupid. And I think there were people out there running shops that I've seen in operation that literally fit this mould, so I think it absolutely informed the way charity shops run with the right people running them, but not everyone will take on these ideas. So I think she did it. It's very similar to Kitchen Nightmares. If you've seen enough Kitchen Nightmares and you work in kitchen world, then you've probably been in. I've worked in restaurants and I've thought, I wish Gordon Ramsay would come and bang your heads together, because I'm having to work in this environment and you don't know what you're doing. But not everyone would watch and listen. They just wouldn't, would they? So all the information's out there. That's how they got themselves in this shit in the first place, by not paying any attention and not doing things. She didn't invent these ideas. She had to construct them out of ideas that were out there in society already. So they could have already done this themselves. But they were the ones running their business and they weren't running it very well. So they needed someone to come and tell them what to do. So maybe they're not going to make the best decisions after the fact because they weren't making good decisions beforehand.
I'm meeting Jane Cartwright from head office and area manager Nick.
The way she says, area manager Nick.
You too.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
This
Nick
was a big
has
risk
basically
for-
got the easiest, he's on a gravy train. He's got the easiest position of the lot. He wanders in. We've seen him doing it. Wanders in and out. Doesn't give a shit. Things just do themselves. He's getting paid, for writing up reports or whatever. I don't know. He seems to have the easiest ride. Look at him not doing much work.
Us to take on 5 months ago. We didn't know what was going to happen. We've got, this is a big organisation. This is retail is an expensive form of fundraising, and we need to get it right.
Hit me with the numbers. How are we doing? Have we done?
She's so good, isn't she? Give me the fucking numbers. I want to know what it says on paper. Give me the numbers. Will they be reticent to supply these in the public? I don't know, because it's actual business, isn't it? This, but give me the numbers.
We gave you a target, didn't we?
Yeah.
£2,000 a week.
Yeah.
And you looked pretty nervous about whether
Smashed
we could
it.
actually
Aghast.
achieve
£5
that.
a week. Easy.
Okay, you look pretty aghast. Since we reopened after the refit, it's been pretty phenomenal.
It's been fantastic. It's been a dramatic success.
Yeah.
It really has.
Absolutely phenomenal. Absolute success. You've achieved your target of £2,000 a week, so well done.
They've achieved the target. Did they go over it? I was saying they might have smashed it. In the early stages, they're going to get all this interest and it's going to be lots of, it's a big boost. It's not going to always continue like that because, but you've got Mary in there, literally, and, the telecameras. So you will smash your targets early doors if you get it right. It's about continuing it on. But they didn't tell us, did they? They didn't tell us how much money because they don't want us to know. For that reason I stated earlier, I think if you find out they're making shitloads of money, you might think second it's about giving them, we all feel happy to give a little bit more money than, or not, I say a little bit more. Obviously it's cheaper because it's coming from a charity shop, but back in the day it was dirt cheap because it was a jumble sale. Now I'm being asked to spend a little bit more than I would normally expect for a charity shop item, but it's good because it goes to a charity and it's good quality stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of with it. Yeah, but if I find out they're making shitloads of money, do I feel that I'm being exploited as a consumer? And I was happy before just to give the charity money. Does it kind of tip? Do you know what I mean? If you walk past a really posh-looking shop, you might think the charity doesn't need your money. That's the worst part of it, and it's silly because the charity still needs your money. They're doing their best to try and give you something that's of value so they can get your money. But it's strange that sort of kind of guilt aspect. If you look at a shabby little charity shop, you might think, well, I'll pop in, and if I find something of value, I'm very willing to pay them the money because it helps the charity because they're not doing so well. Look, but if they seem to be selling gold rings and Versace jackets, and I can't even afford these things, I might be eggy about it rather than happy to support the charity.
Not only are sales up, but we've increased transactions.
We've increased transactions. That's how you increase sales. That is sales. Sack him. And they won't ever tell you how much money she pulled, but she obviously pulled more than £2,000, I'm telling you.
More people coming into the shop. We're up by about 100 customers a week. If that's new customers, that's amazing. And that proves that we're bringing in new
That's
people.
footfall, mate. That's not transactions.
But also, average spend has doubled. So not only are we getting more people in, but existing customers...
You mean individual transactions rather than individual sales insofar as one person could buy a lot of items in one transaction, but now you've got a lot of people buying lots of items, more transactions. Is that what you mean?
Are also spending more.
People are spending more. Yeah, well, obviously, because the sales are up.
I think we can categorically say a success. I think we can, yeah, definitely. I mean,
the prices are like.
Is now for us to maintain it.
What he's saying to her is, what you did, all the things you said, like he's repeating back to her what she said would be like, and like he's telling her like he's judged it in this way, but he wasn't able to get his head into doing it in the first place. That was his job originally, is to make that happen. And now he's like, yeah, you know, well done for this. I'm glad that you've managed to achieve what we were looking to achieve here. You didn't know how to do it. You having to tell her back what she's done for you. She told you on day one what she would do. You could have said it on day one. Like, he's an idiot. She's wearing the Hamburglar jumper as well. They all like the Hamburglar jumper.
You know, without you, take it forward and take it on. It's going to be
Is that
great.
the Masons, do you think? Do you think they pass that around so they have to wear it to prove that they're Masons? The Hamburglar jumper. Do you think the stripy Hamburglar jumper is the Masons? Because she's wearing a sort of orange apron as well. Do you think it's Masons?
Hopefully it'll carry on getting better.
I'm smiling here like a little bit of a Cheshire cat.
Yeah.
A little bit of a...
Yeah, a bit of an I told you so, but also like absolutely, you know, big feather in her cap for the CV, for the charity, all that. Are they going to take it on for the rest of the shot? Like, I'm a little bit interested insofar as, like, literally, the people sat opposite from her were running their business into the ground, and it was their job to not do that and to do it better. And she had to come and tell them everything they needed to do for their entire job. And, like, they should be absolutely, like, you know, they should be so happy and so grateful.
I'm absolutely delighted with what the volunteers have done, with what Joe's done, with what Nick's done, with what you've done. I think it's been amazing, and I'm 100% behind it.
I think she does more than just what Mary did in her job, but I think the other fella sat on the other side of the table. When Mary leaves, she'd be saying, right, so, listen, we need to have a talk. Obviously, you were doing what Mary was supposed to be doing, and you were doing it really badly, and now Mary showed us how to do it. We don't even need you. You've got the sack.
So you have, you know, you absolutely have my backing. I'm absolutely committed to it.
There you go.
We have a new charity business. We have a new charity business. I am so thrilled that my work at the shop has been a success.
She said, we have a new charity business. We have a new charity business. You have my backing. I wonder if some other deal went on behind the scenes, like whether Mary's invested in it in some way, or like her conglomerate of companies or whatever she does. I don't know anything about that. I'm only suggesting it. But the way the woman said, you have my backing, and the way she said, we have a business, I just wonder.
I've proved my point.
But no, she good. Like, you know, I'm really pleased that she's done that.
Charity shops don't have to be the poor relative on the high street. And if my ideas are rolled out across the entire...
Imagine on a date. So what do you do in spare time? Watch someone watching charity shops. Look, this is entertainment in the year 2024. This is what it's like. The television's shit these days, so we watch the old television and talk about it. I am Gogglebox. Gogglebox is me. Gogglebox stole it off the internet. They stole the concept of people reacting on the internet. This is just us chilling. People have been wanting this. People have been calling for this. I've got, you know, they've been coming through in droves saying, where's the next episode of Mary Queen of Shops? I had one comment.
Chain, it might just start a revolution in charity retail. But none of this would have been possible without my volunteers.
True that.
I can't wait to tell them our news.
Oh, Mary! Good
Oh,
morning.
Mary!
Hello, darling. How are you? All right. Yes, I've got to curtsy to the
She's shouting at her. Have you got your hearing aid in, love?
queen of the shops.
Why is that, Jane?
Because you are queen of the charity shop. Joe. Hiya, how are you?
Last day? Good, I'm good, I'm excited.
Oh, me too, I'm so excited. We're going to miss you, though.
Oh, I'm going to miss you lot, sadly.
Well, you put us on the right road. We hope it's the right road.
What do you mean we hope?
She's looking smart as well. She's not only done the haircut, now she's got the dress sense as well. Mary's mini-me.
Peter, what do you mean we hope?
You haven't led us astray.
Oh, I hope I haven't been. I've invited everyone I've worked with over to my shop to say goodbye. And I'm hoping what I've done here will inspire them.
Family!
This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And if I'm a little charity out there or a big charity out there watching this, I'd be wanting to pick this up too. So Ring in. Here's
You don't have to ring in. You can just watch the show and just copy it. Well, that's what I mean, though. Ring in. Was she offering a consultancy service after this to other charities? Like, was she offering her services as a consultant in some way? And did she end up benefiting from it financially? I wonder behind the scenes, like, with a renovation of other businesses. It's weird the way she says it. Does she just mean, copy us? Or like, because it's a good thing for everyone else to follow suit and do better shops. Like, that's okay.
You coming to hear my news? I'm going to talk to you all about what...
Yeah, 6 months later would be interesting. I don't think they do. From what I've seen, it said on the thing it was 3 episodes. And Mary Queen of Shops as well, to do a follow-up would have been interesting, because we've got to watch the standard Mary Queen of Shops at some point, I suppose, now. I love Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, and they do turn up back at some of the places later, but sometimes they've closed down.
we have achieved. Not another sermon.
Do you know what? Something we saw recently as well, and I've paused it an incredible amount of times, haven't I? Something we saw recently was big businesses go under, like Woolworths and things that seem like pillars of society almost, that they would never disappear. It happens with technology, is that a new technology will establish itself and there'll be no point in the old technology. So it doesn't matter how established and big and old, powerful it was, those businesses go by the wayside, like big old brands. But recently we've seen what we thought would be impenetrable brands disappear. And with the internet as well, it's kind of changed the high street. But it's mainly economics, it's mainly the Conservatives and the way they want to turn the high street locations into nice properties for their friends that they can let out. They've twisted it and fucked it. But apart from the politics, the interesting thing is that like our high streets and our shops, like I said about business when, might not be there with Kitchen Nightmares when you come back. Like, these charity shops exist in the spaces that used to be established businesses, don't they? They say that our high streets are turning into hairdressers and charity shops, and charity shops don't have to pay the business tax, the rates. Still have to pay the rent, but they don't have to pay the rates on top because they're exempt, because they're a charity shop. And that's why you see them occupying the spaces, because normal businesses that used to be able to afford to be there can't afford to be there as much anymore. So they go by the wayside. And if you can do your charity shop in there because you get a benefit from the rates, like, then you're the next ones there, but then you're the next ones to go when you can't afford it either. And the people that are ultimately benefiting are the landlords. Like, they still get their rent paid. And if you take a shop lease on, you take it on for 6 months, no, it's 3 years or whatever, isn't it? Like, you take it on a shop lease, a long lease, and then if you close your business and leave, you still have to pay the rent. I didn't have to with mine. I left at the right time. But if you take on a long lease, you have to pay the rent. I tried to make a move to buy the business, like buy the building I was in, and when that didn't work out, that was another reason I chose not to carry on. Like, if I'd have been able to buy the building and pay my own mortgage, I'd have been happier. And I did look at other buildings and decide whether I wanted to get into that. But at the time I decided no. But our high streets are being run down and businesses will go under and disappear. And it's a shame, isn't it? Like, there aren't any, doesn't matter if you're Boots or you're Woolworths, Boots still exist, Woolworths don't. It could all change. Well, it is changing. We need to vote for the right people to make sure it doesn't. Because the Conservatives, like I say, just a little bit of politics there. Boris Johnson changed the rules about if you own a shop and you want to let it out on the high street, it's got what's called A1 red designation, which means it has to be a shop. If I want to buy it and live in it, if I want to live in that shop and I rent it out, I'm paying the rent, but I can't just live in it and make it a residential property. It's not designated residential. It has to be designated that for you to, and if you want to sell it as a designated residential property and whatever, or let it out to people, turn it into flats, you can't do that. But there's a lot of property on the high streets that is designated as retail, and some of it's empty at the moment because people can't afford to run their businesses from it, because the internet's changed things, but also our economy, the economies, there's that. And so listen, I'm saying it politically, it is the truth. The Conservatives, their friends own these properties. Our Chancellor's got 26 properties in his portfolio. My local little town, there's some lovely little properties there on the high streets that you could turn into little residential properties. Very nice monies, very nice, locations, location. But you can't, because there's the rules. It has to be a shop. But they've changed that. Boris Johnson, when he was in, he said that you don't need this special change of permission now. You can kind of do it yourself. paraphrasing, but so it made it much easier for people to buy up these properties and turn them. And once they're not high street shops, once they're not shops anymore, once they're little flats that get rented out to people, then that's it. They're not going to be shops anymore. We still have a protection on pubs. Like, you can't just buy a pub and turn it into whatever you want. If it's a pub, like, there's some sort of protection on it. Community, needs its places. I think there's still protection on that. But like, that's what the aim is from the one political angle to try. That's why this is happening on the high street. It's a shame, really, isn't it?
Stella? Hi, Wendy. It was a meeting. How are you?
And in the end, it'll be just the really ones, like the expensive ones that can afford it, and the charity shops and the hairdressers, won't it? Because like with a hairdresser, you're doing more like you're a service, not just a retailer. Like, retailer is like, you can't attack hairdressers with the internet, can you? You still need to get your hair cut. It's midnight right now. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear and your left ear. So certain businesses will stay on the high street because they provide services which can't be like undermined in that way. But others will just go by the wayside. But there's still a space for an idea that you should like help the high street to be more sustainable, because it's part of a community and it's part of a social space. And that, I think personally, my personal belief in it is, instead of turning those properties into flats for rich people to rent out, like, that sounds silly, but what they should do is they should encourage more community spirit spaces, like art collective spaces. And okay, there's a lot of cafes out there. We don't need more cafes, do we? But like, if you're going to put public money into the high street and create public service spaces, then like, for social and community spaces, then you're going to encourage more people to be in and around those spaces. A bit more cafe culture, a bit more, pedestrianised cafe culture, but then all the shops are going to succeed better because there'll be more customers around to go in the shops, and I think that's the transformation of the high street again, is to go back to a more sort of provide more utility. Shopping was the utility, but I think you provide different utility in terms of entertainment and, like I said, community. Like, they've completely, like, imagine there was a youth club on the high street or whatever, like, they've undermined all the youth club money now, so they could never afford to get on the high street. It's massive rent. But like, if you subsidise those things in those places, pedestrianised them and made them livable in that way, like, you'd have the community space be operating with the community in it. Music spaces, art spaces. I bet there's a million other ideas that people would have to put in those spaces, but you need to subsidise that. And then the other thing is marketplaces, is that the high street survives around a marketplace, and many towns are market towns, and they have a sort of on again off again market, and it's often run by a private company. And I would say you need to take that out of private hands and put it in public hands and subsidise it, so that businesses can get going in market spaces where you have a permanent market and it's subsidised, so they don't have to spend a lot of money on their rent and all that. They can get their business going, get the trade going, and then they can decide to maybe take one of the shops in town if they're doing really well in their market space, and that market space, like I said, because it's subsidised, would then encourage lots more different businesses to pop up and have a go, and then you'd get more people coming into your town and your community spaces to buy things again, because you've got that market there and it's popular. And a lot of our market towns grew on the actual physical market, and we've taken that away now and just said it's a craft market or a German fair, and people actually don't want that. They actually want we pushed the day-to-day things like the groceries and this and that out of town into the big supermarkets, but people still want, like, a more traditional market, regular routine setup, I think, me personally anyway. And actually, those nice things that you can get, those individual things, like when you go on holiday, you go and walk around the markets, like your local trade, stuff like that. So yeah, I think markets should be more like back to basics Britain. I should be a politician, right? Back to basics Britain. We're going to fix broken Britain by investing in public services, investing in your high street, investing in your marketplaces, investing in your public services for your young people and older people and everyone in this space. We're going to transform your high streets, and you're going to want to be there. And it's not going to be crime ridden and junk and messy. It's going to be nice, and you're going to like it. And you're going to have cheap cinema passes and, like, Parisian. It rains a lot, but yeah, I can think there's so many, like, by moving away from the commercial pressure of trying to make sure you get as much money out of that property as possible and moving into something that is more socially beneficial, you will transform the high street. And then those other properties that are not publicly owned, private properties, will still generate massive amounts of money from their shops, because you've transformed the high street and put the people back. So now they can make money again. So yeah.
Okay.
I need to shut
Today
up. We're not even finished with this.
is the last day I come to Orpington Save the Children. And I have to say, I feel really sad. 6 months ago, or nearly 6 months ago, I came into a shop that felt very, very different.
Yeah, I don't know where Dover is. Maybe she's tired. Like, it's just gone midnight here, but I don't know what time it is in America. She was here earlier. She's there now. Look, there's your medal. She's always.
From today. A shop that needed love.
I appreciate that.
A
Thank you,
shop
Dover. Thank you, Dover and Dolly's mom, for always being here. Thank you.
needed to make more money for Save the Children. We're taking £900 a
You know, no one needs to feel that like it's an obligation.
week. We're now taking £2,000 a week.
I need to make a song, about the shit whining. The shit. What? I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I shouldn't have gone political at the end there. Some people get eggy when I go political, but we all know we want the high streets to do better, don't we? Come on.
Phenomenal.
Don't we all miss Woolworths? Oh, but you said Mary Queen of Shops was right for being all, Queen of Shops about it. So if Woolworths don't make money, they can fucking go to the dogs. Yeah, but, come on. Do we feel better with Poundland? Is it that much better? Were Woolworths that bad? I don't even know what happened with Woolworths. I just can't remember. It was the credit crunch, wasn't it? Yeah.
Wonderful.
Maybe they should have bailed out Woolworths.
It's been us, hasn't it? Yes.
Say Woolworths.
We've done it, and we've
Say Woolworths one more time.
delivered a great business. So I just want to say enjoy it. Before I go, I'm going to give you a little...
Oh, she can have a little cryis. She can have a little cryis.
gift to stay here. Okay, I want you all to wear these for whatever shift is on. You're going to wear these, okay?
She brought her new bibs. They got new bibs because remember at the very start, that's a lovely little callback. At the very start of it, and they have had new bibs since then, but at the very start, they said, we've got these bibs. We've had them since for 40 years. They're the same old bibs, and they always wore the dirty bibs. She's bought them some Mary Queen of Shops bibs that they can wear. They're going to love them. Straight on eBay.
Okay, you will not.
Mary came to Orpington, and all I got was this lousy tabard. That's actually quite good. Mary came to Orpington, and all I got was this lousy tabard. And they've reused the picture of I Want You, though, but yeah. Tabard. Tabard.
I actually feel really, really
Oh, has Alan done a Patreon post? Okay, we'll have a look in a minute.
privileged that I've had the chance to do this. Love and luck, sweetie.
Shouldn't mention it. This is Super Chuff for You content.
All right, take care. And I think it's something that really, genuinely has touched my life, you know? Oh. And it's made me have to think about how I work with people. Was it straightforward? Was it hell? Were there times when I could have put my head in my hands and ran a mile? Of course. I shall miss you too. But the fact that I was dealing with women who had been doing this for 40 years
40 years, yeah.
made this actually an amazing challenge for me, because to get them to work with me and for me to work with them, you know, and understand each other and dance on the same stage was just wonderful.
I've always found that to be I've worked in hairdressing, like I said, so the people who taught me to cut hair were women that were older than me. Yeah, I mean, in the working environment, there's a lot of different people of different ages, and in any working environment, you meet different people, don't you? So, but specifically women that were older than me, I suppose, in the hairdressing, as well as my bosses and stuff. And I didn't think it's an interesting challenge because specifically women or anything. I just people are people, aren't they? We're all different people. But I don't know. Just reflecting on that, like she said, those people have worked there for 40 years, and she had to sort of change it. She did a really good job, didn't she, Mary, overall? My summing up, she's doing a summing up. I'll give you my summing up. I thought it was good. You know I did. I've told you what I thought all the way through it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, bye, dear.
Bye. Bye, Mary.
Bye, Jean.
Bye, Jean.
Okay, my darling.
She's got a dress on backwards.
Yeah, hi.
Hang on. I think she got a dress on backwards. Look.
Jean. Bye, Joe.
She got a dress on backwards. She's not that fashionable then, is she? After all this, at the end, she's wearing a dress on backwards by mistake.
Okay, my darling.
Maybe she had a heavy night the night before.
Joe? Yeah, hi.
No, you can see the label. I know it's a joke. I know she's not really wearing a dress backwards. Look.
These are yours. These were mine. And now they're yours. Take care, my love.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Good luck. You deserve it. You've been amazing.
Thank you.
Good, my darling. Take care.
I miss
Bye-bye.
They were really her keys. Like, she was going to cry as well,
Been
bless her.
amazing.
Thank you.
Good, my darling.
No, she looked like she might have a little cry. Those keys were really her keys, and it was a symbolic handing over the keys that they shot. I know it. I can feel it. But look at the back room now. The back room's changed as well, hasn't it? Totally changed. It's all like rails and nice things and pictures. And okay, there's still some junk going on probably, but the back room has changed as well. We did get there in the end. Like,
Take care. Bye-bye.
We came to take one.
And if you've watched that on Super Chuffer For You, it's massive long. So if you don't get another video for 2 weeks, fucking come on. I'm doing my best here. This isn't my full-time job. It's just a little bit of extra love that we throw out there. And I do want to increase the number of videos that are on this channel on Super Chuffer For You. I need to stream this more, so I can't edit all the time. Look, just, you get it. You get it when you get it. Subscribe, enjoy it, you chuffer. I mean, if you've watched all the way to the end, you are a subscriber. So it's Super Chuffer For You. You be good. And if you can't be good, you notice.